There she is. Okay,
Yeah,
live now.
nice. Sorry, I was playing Nikki because gotcha addiction.
I am currently playing Warcraft.
Yeah, I've been kind of like back reading like everything that's been going on like between the server and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like not really surprised that like now it's kind of like spilling out into the forums, you know?
Well,
It just
it was overdue to hit up the forums because like the whole thing is derived from Proctor, so like he can only isolate it to Discord for so long before it starts cropping up on the forum.
yeah. I mean like, the funny thing is that I kind of figured something like that was going to happen, which is like why I left the server. Because I actually been talking to like a decent number of people about how they felt about the whole thing, like the girlies, Cubo band and stuff like that. And I'm just kind of like, all things considered, like, I think Proctor was pretty transparent about what he wanted from the server, especially within like the last couple of days, especially. Like, he's been pretty transparent with what he wants. He basically wants a hug box on the Discord server, right? And you
Yeah.
basically have all of his dick lickers who's like basically agreeing with him, right? Now, everybody else, they just want to talk about VTubers and stuff. And while Proctor is a VTuber fan, he's more of a fan of like Chud Logic, right wing, Kershaw type content than he is actually a fan of VTubers, you know? So, because of that, right, there's now like kind of a huge split between the people who don't really care about talking about stuff like that and the people who just basically wants to talk about stuff like that. And even between the two factions, people are just kind of like, hey, why not just make a containment for them? Keep it away from people so that like anyone else who's just trying to talk about VTubers, gotcha games, or other shit, they don't have to engage with it. It's not just forced upon their face. But Proctor doesn't want that, right? He just wants 100% not attention, but he basically wants like a group of people to always agree with him, even though he's not all that smart to begin with. So
Well,
at the end
well,
of
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Proctor is dual wielding a superiority and an inferiority complex, and what he wants and what he's fostered with the TVA is he wants a validation for
well,
anything he does.
yeah, it's kind of like obvious that it's kind of like now spilling over to not only just like the forums but also VT, since like usually like now it's like every other day you see like a new thread about Proctor and how fucking stupid he is, you know? So it's just kind of like, yeah, you're not really like, helping your case here. What doesn't really make sense to me is that he wants to basically be first in line whenever drama happens. So like the VTubers come to him, they tell him the tea, and then he tells everybody else. And then people who happen to like drama tubers, they're gonna see him as like someone who actually knows about what VTubers are. But he's also injecting a lot of his personal politics when it comes to those conversations. Like, personal hot take, I think it's a little bit impossible to be apolitical in the VTubing scene, in the sense that you can't expect someone to be 100% apolitical, because there's going to be at least one thing that actually like really bugs someone, or like steps on their toes, no matter how many times they try to say, don't worry guys, I'm trying to make an apolitical stream. That's just a fundamental fact of the matter. But what Proctor wants is he wants his points of view and his politics be used as a justification as for why things happen, at least not publicly. Because at the end of the day, most VTubers are still left wing, so you can't just be transparently right wing, I think. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to really work out too well for him, because he's just kind of being dumb, and it's now leaking out into other places, and people are calling him stupid. You know, at that
Which,
point, you might as well just call him a lolcow, and then like it's over for him. Everybody's just gonna see him as a joke.
well, he's been a lolcow since day one. I've been saying this forever. Like the instant he opened up his gob on his first stream, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be precious." But the thing that interests me with the more current, like what just happened, is that a lot. I don't want to be mean and call some of them dick riders. Like he has his ride or die crew and stuff, and I had them tapped for a while. But the latest spurg out is that a lot of his more casual defenders are like, oh, this isn't the bit. He really is this retarded. And like what happened with Vsoy.
Yeah, I don't like, I was talking to Cubo about it, and I'm just kind of like, I don't necessarily deny about Vsoy being kind of stupid. In a way, it is true. He always wants to get the last word. He doesn't really like people disagreeing with him. It's just the opposite, like political factions for Proctor. That's what Vsoy Boy is, The issue is, it's just kind of like Proctor is the server owner, so he can pick and choose, like, who he actually wants within the server when Vsoy Boy was apparently not a problem to him until now. And I don't understand why you need someone to, like, report them when you already have active mods in the server who could just mute or kick him out already. It just makes no sense. It feels like Proctor wants to be involved in the Discord like moderation scene, but then he's just not really doing anything when people do get reported. So people just don't report them in the first place. And that's because the people who do dick ride Proctor, or the people that Proctor likes, he doesn't want to ban them because, they inflate his own ego. So I don't know what to tell him. Like,
I still
at that
say
point, like,
I still say the day he actually changed his nickname to Low Tax for a good while there, and I don't know if that was like prophetic or just like, okay, it's a little too on the nose, but it's kind of funny. But in hindsight, it is funny because it's like, okay, it's literally playing out exactly like Low Tax. So it's just like, was this all preordained? I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm just sitting back here kind of confused half the time at this point.
Honestly, the way how I see it, like based on my own personal perspective, like it just comes down to, why the fuck do you even have a Discord server in the first place? If you want to have like a bunch of your A-loggers and have them like dick ride you, just basically nuke the old server, invite the ones that you actually want there, and you have what you want. But I guess at the same time, he wants other people to be there so that he has like a group of people where he can point and be like, see, you're kind of dumb because I'm educated. I watch like a lot of YouTube videos from right-wing people who are actually smarter than me and knows how to explain situations better than me. So I'm just going to repeat what they say, but not actually understand like the meaning behind that. And then his dick riders are clapping like, yeah, that's right, you got it, Proctor, you go, girl, yeah, we fucking love you. And everybody's just like, do you even watch the video? Like, that's not what they said, you fucking idiot. Shit like that. Like, that's kind of why like Proctor barely engages with me, because I just don't buy his bullshit. And I'm not even that good at debating. I'm just good at yapping. If I smell something that's just obviously stupid, I'm just gonna say, no, that's just fucking stupid.
It's kind of funny because earlier, buddy, I forget who did it, but posted the DM of he literally hates you and Trixie.
Well, yeah, because not only because I'm a woman, but I'm not like stupid. Like, I'm not really someone who's like super groomable. So you can't just turn me into right wing. And I don't necessarily disagree with like certain conservative topics, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I don't really like people who LARP like they're smart, because like you're really not that smart at all. And I guess he doesn't really like me because I've constantly knocked down his dick riders for being fucking stupid and then snitching at them to Cuba to actually get something done about it. And I was just like, I don't really like having to be a taser for like other people. I just want to chill and keep up with VTuber drama. But what really made him not like me is because I've been very fucking open about how stupid Proctor was, but he couldn't find a justification to actually ban me because I guess I'm like decently well liked because it's not like she's all that bad either. You know? I can play it wrong. I can be fucking stupid. Sometimes I bring up interesting perspectives and viewpoints, but it's not like you can ban someone simply because I just disagree with your takes and I don't like that you're smarter than me or some shit. You know?
Well, well, you have to remember that, like I said this before and I'll say it again, the microcosm that explains Proctor in everything that he does is that, one, he is a rural yokel who hates being a rural yokel. Two, he is a closeted homosexual. Three, he probably is brainwashed and fucked up with upbringing from his parents. So this guy is like a perfect storm of, okay, this is like probably like the what's the word I'm looking for? The sleeper car of VTuber drama that is just festering and just waiting because this is like big and stupid and I'm all for it. But I'm not patient enough to sit around. It's like, okay, what, is this going to be the whole thing? It's like, but then it's like, whatever. I'm just going to casually sit by and just watch this stew because you have to remember this is kind of an extension of the Nolan thing in that Nolan took forever for people to realize, oh, this guy is legitimately retarded. And his Proctor is kind of the same deal. It's like, oh no, he's like, it's like, oh, don't worry about him. But then like people eventually wake up. It's like, oh, this isn't a joke. He's really this fucked. And I'm just kind of waiting for that inflection point.
Yeah. To answer Sark's thing, I don't think it's that he's scared of just black people. I think he just doesn't like smart black people. Like the non-woke, decently smart black people with common fucking sense. Because you can't call them a fucking a nigga or a fucking monkey because, oh my god, like, look at you. You're a fucking monkey. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But you can't call them woke either because they're not that woke. So how can you actually like demean someone? At most you can only say about me and Trixie is woman, and it's like, yeah, I am one.
Well, okay, like here's my take on the woman Proctor thing in that he's so far deep in the closet and he has to overcompensate his quote unquote heterosexuality, which is non-existent, but he has to go above and beyond. And of course the meme of the tradcath conservative notion is like, LOL, women get back in the kitchen, lol, all that shit and stuff. And he goes like above, like it's already at a cartoonish level, and he goes like beyond that into a like a super cartoonish level of like, oh fuck, it's like, oh fuck those women, I'm not interested. It's like he's literally not interested in you girls sexually. So it's just like perfect storm of just like misogyny, like unironic, like not even hyperbole. It's like unironic misogyny.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because if you tell them, hey, like, if you actually hate women so much, why not just go to the Middle East where the Taliban has, like, influence? Like, they recently banned Windows because women should not be seen, which is absolutely inane. Something that follows along Proctor's logic, and something that I said to, like, one of his dick riders, I said, and they're like, wait, but I have family members that I care about that are women. And I'm like, well, you're saying all this misogynistic shit, but you have female family members that you care about. That's kind of fucking weird. Like, be fucking consistent. Like, do you want to be superior over women, or do you actually just think before you speak? You know, like, I don't think you understand some of the shit you're saying. You're just kind of like mad and you just listen to people who are kind of smart in explaining what you feel, but not actually thinking about how it works in practice.
Well,
You know?
you have to remember he's legitimately, like, by his own admission, an autistic retard who lives in the shed in the middle of nowhere. Okay, like he says, like, oh, I go to community center and get hand jobs from the old guys and stuff, but whatever. It's like that does not change the fact that he's literally like. I'm a sociopath. Like I have to take active participation to be sociable and understand things. Social, like it's not like a free act, like in game terms. It's not a free action or a passive skill for me. I have to actually be active and pay attention. And I notice this shit in that you are fucked up. It's like there's no getting around it. Like Proctor is fucked up, but and I don't think even on any level that he understand he does not perceive that he is like socially stunted and fucked up. Like he does not see that.
And it's kind of a bad thing too, because you want to be seen as like this, like, I don't know, like this pillar of like the VTubing community where like when it comes to like VTuber drama, the first place people will think of going is not VT, but TVA, you know, which is what most people do because it's just really easy to have like a bunch of drama condensed in a forum space. Sorry.
Yeah, bless you.
Thank you. But, you know, like that's what made people go to TVA and be anonymous on TVA. Whenever something's going on within the community, people want to be kept up to date. And if they want to have like the first news stop and discuss it with other people, you go to the Discord server. But the problem is that if he's trying to use women to basically prop up his career, and a lot of those women, his Oshis included, are liberals, how the hell does he think that this is really going to work out in his benefit? Kirsha's not even going to give him the type of day because she's not even the trad wife that Proctor thinks she is. You know, she's not a virgin. She's not that well, I don't know if she's that attractive, and I don't really want to see her face or anything, but she's probably like average looking, definitely not like 9 out of 10 blonde trad wife material.
I've seen her face talk. She's average. She's okay.
Yeah, like she's probably just average, I guess. But you know, the way how Proctor talks about Kirsha and how he reacts to whenever people insult Kirsha, along with like some of the other server members, they put her on like this massive pedestal and think like she's like so good. When the reality of it is just that she's a VTuber that carves out a niche that leans more into their particular politics. You know? And yeah, she's successful because of it, but that's why other people don't like her because a lot of VTubers and people within the community, they don't like right-wing people, you know? Even now, like most VTubers are very, very liberal. They're not going to want to have Kirsha in the VTubing space. And even I personally think it's not a good idea to have someone like Kirsha in the VTubing community because we shouldn't have any politics whatsoever within content creation because that's how you get shitty like breadtuber slop in the first place, you know?
I wouldn't go that far, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and I'm only saying that because like at work I listen to like a lot of long form videos, and usually people who make long form videos are leaning more towards the left. So I'd rather something be more like apolitical. I'm not going to say completely apolitical, but more apolitical than someone like openly saying like the political leanings on where they stand on or go on and spurg about the same thing over and over again. Like, I get it, Kirsha, like DEI, bridge, and all that stuff. It sucks. I know it. But god damn, hearing about that topic on end is exhausting, and people don't care about that shit like as passionately like you do, you know? And people are perfectly okay to like isolate you because of it, you know? Even then, like if you think about the people she associates with, like Moonshine, Pippa, some of the lolly VTuber groups too. Like, yeah, that's kind of the reasons why she still has any influence in the VTubing community. But given the choice, I don't think she'd really be like someone you could really consider a VTuber in like that sense, you know?
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I really hate to say these words, but I believe that the VTuber space is a space for everyone, including Politisbergs like Kersha and myself. So it's kind of like in my best interest to say this, but going with the association thing and stuff, that's why I kind of turned away from TVA and stuff, because I know it's going to be a giant trash fire, and it's just like, okay, the good times are done. I gotta bail, because this is my first rodeo. But in terms of VTubing and stuff, I say anyone can do anything, and it doesn't really matter and stuff, but you have to I'm not super big on guilt by association, but I'll flip the script and say I'm okay. Like, I really want to promote freedom of association, including to not associate, if that makes sense.
I agree. Wait, Mike, there we go. I don't actually I don't disagree with what you're saying. I actually think like what you're saying makes perfect sense. I just think like realistically, with the way how like the current internet is, it's just
Oh no, I totally get that. Don't get me wrong, I
really
get that.
possible to have that level of nuance. Like even I like maybe like, you know, a couple of years back I would have said like, yeah, I want it to be like completely apolitical. VTubers shouldn't talk about real world shit. They shouldn't bring that shit on their stream, like January 6th, Trump, you know, all that bullshit, right? Like I think it's stupid, right? But, you know, I think like it's kind of impossible to do that in a way. I think what really matters more is how well can you actually like contain yourself, like when it comes to topics such as that, because it shows a lot more maturity in the sense that you're not really like immature enough to just go on and on about politics and make that your whole thing, unless that's what you're trying to do in the first place. And know like, hey, all right, there's a time to like talk about politics, there's times to just talk about something else. I think that's probably like the best way it works. And even then, like, don't go too much into details. Don't try to like, you know, isolate people or blame a certain group of people no matter what political spectrum. I think it's just keep shit neutral, you know? Yeah.
I don't know. I subscribe to the Jim hypothesis of the internet. I just want to laugh at stupid shit and have a good time.
Oh, true. I mean, I'll still always like technicals. Like that shit's like great. Bless. Ugh. Ugh.
Temperature, is the polar vortex hitting you guys? Because everyone got the case of the sniffles these days.
Oh yeah. Trixie's here. She's like waiting to get in.
I told her the last time, Trixie, this, if I'm going to have a limited conversation with people on stream and I don't want people coming in, I'll do it in the super secret channel. If I'm sitting in the general voice thing, you can just click the channel and show up. It's literally like any other channel. Just get out of the waiting room. Just leave the waiting room and click on the general voice channel that me and Wires are in. You can do it. I believe in you.
Like right now, like holiday wise, it's like cold as shit.
Hi, I'm stupid.
Hi, babe.
hey, this, you know, like, thank you for helping me. I am a stupid woman after all.
You're fine, but it's kind of funny. It's like if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have 2 nickels.
Right? Yeah, no, you're cool, man. I'm a little bit out of it. I'm trying to like hate myself up to stream tonight because I know I got like a couple of friends that are like kind of sapling adjacent, so they're gonna be bummed. So I'm trying to work myself up to stream, but I don't feel good. But I just wanted to say, for the record, we did like have the chat about the direction that the ASLM was going, like almost 6 months ago, I think. And like when Haka was like, "Hey, can you please like actually listen to your mods and like listen to the people that are trying to tell you to not act like you are for the sake of the site's health?" And you were like, "Oh, he's not going to do it." And he didn't do it. And this is what happened. So,
I mean,
yeah.
I've been trying to like convince Cubo, like, bro, it's not worth like this amount of effort for a guide that doesn't even want it in the first place, you know?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I get it. Because it's
like
like
you
I can understand like why, like, like you would have, personal attachment to. It's like I like the site, I like the environment. But it's just like the term is, oh God, what is it? Pearls before swine. And this is like not even like about, any sort of yes, like we need him to come home, like any personal issues, because like guess like I genuinely just think that it's like I don't hate Proctor because that would require me to like have like some sort of passionate feeling. I just think that he basically victory defeated him. Basically, like he got some success. And success, like, I mean, a measure of success, with how TVA was going and everything, because it's like it's a good thing. Like the site itself and like the culture of it or whatever, and I don't agree with everything they do. Like there is a lot of like stuff that's real close to like doxery for not much, but I'm not like somebody that's like, oh, we can't talk about past lives at all. But like when you're talking about, okay, there were picture leaks and of faces and stuff, I don't like that shit. But as far as the site culture, like it was a good thing, and all he had to do was literally do nothing and couldn't do it. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, he snatched the feet from the jaws of victory.
Exactly. It's like a whole. I would say he went the low tax route, but low tax did like conceive a child. So
yes, but Proctor can't because he's gay, so that's not going to happen.
Like, and that's like I don't want to talk about like personal like things like that, but it's just it's I can't even say you went the low tax route because low tax did have what up on you. You're still alive. That's what up on him, I guess. But golly, if you had told me, if we had had this conversation before and you had told me that this was going to happen, I would have said I can kind of see it going that way because of the arrogance. But I don't know that I would have been because, oh yeah, I just pulled like this random personal friend to mod something that has no ideal of why anything the way. Like I wasn't expecting like the random friend mod to be what fucking collapsed.
Well, you have to remember, like we've had a lot of Proctor events up until now. I'm just like, okay, why is this one different? This one here is as stupid as all the other ones. What's different about this one?
It's like the thing is, it's like a lot of people, like there were a lot of people that had personal investment in other people on the side or on the Discord, and a lot of those people had left the Discord because of not being listened to or the behaviors. And at that point it's like, I mean, I might as well talk about shit. It's not like any there's nothing, it's like there's nothing left to lose at this point. I think that's kind of the mentality a lot of people have.
Yeah, I was chatting with Cubo about it earlier, and I was saying that like most people who like VTubers particularly, the reason why they come to the Discord is because you have more freedom to basically talk about things that VTubers don't really like saying in general without having to be told, shut the fuck up, or have a Google Doc written up about you or some bullshit like that. I know that's exactly how Hexa got fucking people to get blacklisted off of like people associated with TVA getting blacklisted off
other
of
places, like other like corpos, like
I know that much, but it's one of those things where it's like at the same time, can you really blame people for really wanting to stay as well? Because like, I've always been pretty open. I don't necessarily like women being so catty the way they do, backstabbing, doing Google Docs instead of being upfront and real with me. At least if you guys, like, if I do something stupid, you guys will just call me a fucking retard, and I'd be like, mad about it, and then I'll come back like 5 minutes later. I'm like, yeah, you're kind of right about that. Right? Simple, easy. But with women, it's just like, oh, they'll nod and say yes. They'll take a screenshot, and then I'll get a Google Doc the next day, and I'm like, why couldn't you just talk to
Right. Yeah. But like I have like you are correct in some cases, but I have like the rebuttal is that Proctor basically did that to me. Like he literally did the exact same thing you're talking about to him. And, like literally just like not 4 hours ago. It's been 4 hours since he leaked a DM just because he fucking got mad. Don't say, hey ladies, please trust me. You can trust me with your private information, and then get mad at somebody and leak their DMs, because like I was saying, and like I said multiple times before this transpired, people are not going to trust you if you constantly prove that you'll just leak out their information just because of your own personal feelings, or you decided that the time to keep their private thoughts private has passed. Right?
Listen. Justification. Maybe he's trans.
I have to leave. You're not gonna be like, come out of your egg frog. I have to leave. I don't. It's like I have. The thing is, you can't even like say like it's like necessarily like it's bitch behavior. It's not necessarily woman behavior. It's just acting like a bitch, and that's what bitches do.
I mean, it's bitch behavior and terminal behavior.
It's true. It's all that, but it's
like you and me, we enter the real world on a fairly regular basis. Like Proctor and his butt buddies hate us because we actually do have a life outside of like VTubing. We're not also desperate to just be like, yeah, come on, you can groom me. Yeah, I think I don't really like women. I think they should have less rights and they should be kept in the kitchen. Like the
He don't even want them in the kitchen. He's like slavery. He didn't even say trad wife. He just said
slavery.
Maybe I don't want to say the other thing that we have in common, but I'm just saying. It's just a coincidence. I don't even think that's why I'm not saying it, because I really do think that he just hates like women in general. And he's like, I don't hate women. I like women who think like I do and act like I think they should act. I'm like, if you don't think women should be able to act in a way you don't agree with, that means you hate them.
Yeah.
Like, not even individual. Like, not even if he had said, I don't like it when dumb bitches act dumb. Like, that's a different thing than to say women don't like to think. Women don't. It's like, yeah, some women don't. Would be happy just not to. And that's like, I don't necessarily agree with it, because then you get like when you put your life in a weirdo's hands, you get weirdo results. But they have the right to do that when you're just like, oh, I'm smarter than women. It's like, you're not even smarter than you from last year.
True.
Humble yourself, buddy.
True. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to convince Cubo so much because he's one of my pet spics. And I'm like, dog, you have a lot of contact with other corpos. You have contact with SVP. You don't need Proctor. And he's just kind of like, well, Proctor, like, if he acts stupid, they're not going to pay attention to me. And I'm like, do you really think they're not going to associate you with Proctor?
It's like it happened to a couple of them, from what I know, the girls of VSP, and they weren't even really a couple of them weren't even really that deep in association with him personally, from what I'm aware of, from what I even saw. and they just got tarred with the same brush. And it's just like another thing about like the site and whatever is like if you have a reputation that people come to your site and they're all like snitches and they all leak all their information to you, then nobody is going to want to be seen in public with you, even if that even if that's not the truth. And some of it was a little true in some cases, but it's like if everybody and you're asking for it, you're like, please tell me everything you know about everything. And then somehow when people you say you're a groomer, but when you find out you're a groomer, you're like, why would you ever think you're a groomer? I don't. It's like you need to change, or you need to change. I would say touch grass, but it's like you literally farm. So I don't like if touching grass can't fix you to that. Like if you're touching grass that much and it can't fix you, I don't know what can fix you. I'm sorry.
Honestly, the only way you can really fix him is just cut his internet off entirely and actually force him to interact with the real world. Like, literally destroy his PC, like, cut his internet, like, throw his phone in a lake, right? Like, go off the internet, get a fucking job.
No! We can't do that. I mean,
it's an option. It's an option.
That'll fix anybody. But yeah, it's give them no crush treatment. Just gotta. But yeah, it's like the thing is. Thank you for the legal coverage there. But yeah, the thing is, if you don't interact with, I kind of had that when I I had like last year. I was unemployed for like a year, and so I was basically in my house. And then the year before I worked from home. So it's like it kind of does warp your mind when you don't interact with other people, even people that are stupid. Like you need to be interaction with some people in the real world, or the whole terminally online thing. Like there's a reason, and it comes from both sides. Like a lot of people consume it with like people from the left or people from the right, but it's like stupid is stupid. Like political policies aside, like you could be like, and this is gonna sound like quite controversial, but I don't think all conservatives are like horrible moron monsters. I think generally once you get so far either left or right, you start like it becomes basically the same thing.
I mean, we're literally moderates, like, bro.
It's like you can't even be a moderate like you're whatever without people like hating you for it on either side. But like that, the point is stupidity is stupidity. Like, no matter what stripe, no matter what color, that's my take.
Like my personal opinion about like politics and stuff is just kind of like, or more like on the terminally online thing, is that as someone who dropped out of college and became a NEET for like 4 or 5 years, because NEET for 2 years, COVID, right? As soon as COVID was over, like I got a fucking job, and like my mental state was shit because everybody's fucking complaining about how COVID made them fucking depressed. I spent like 5 years like having all of my interactions and my worldview limited to Discord and Twitter, And even if you personally don't believe what some people are saying, the fact of the matter is that a lot of terminally online people, they don't want to rock the boat. They'll just nod and say yes because they don't want to be kicked out, and they don't want to like actually have to go outside and expand their worldview. I'll always say this as a VTuber: don't ever fucking quit your job because VTubing can make you money. You should always have one foot out in the real world. If you don't want to have like a part-time job as a VTuber, go to like a fucking language school. Go join like a fucking group club or something. Do something outside where you can actually talk to people in real life, so that when you go online and you see people think that they're saying like some of the smartest shit known to man, and you're looking at that and you're like, no, it's fucking stupid. No person think that's like perfectly rational. You know,
Right.
terminally online people are terminally online because they narrow their view based on everything that's curated to them by an algorithm. They never actually have to engage with something that actually challenges their worldview or even threatens their worldview, which is why Proctor doesn't like people who are actually smarter than them. And I'm not even that smart,
Yeah.
Like,
I think at this point, though, I think being a neat and unremembered by history is a better ending than this is gonna have. There's Lord knows, VTubing, want to be famous, want to be out there, but at the end of the day, being able to get offline or go to another site or do something and nobody give a fuck about what you're doing because you're just a regular person and nobody gives a fuck about you. That is a privilege.
yeah. Like, I see people all the time and they're always talking about, can't go outside because I'm physically disabled. I can't do this because I have chronic illness like fibromyalgia. I think that's one of them.
Oh god, I think fibrosis. Are you talking about fibrosis? Well, fibrosis is kind of some people,
No, it's the shit where your veins kind of whack out a little bit because you're fucking fat, right? I think it's
something.
Yeah, that one. It's the fat people thing because I have it, but it's one of those things where it's bitch, that's an excuse. Why are you trying to take fucking government handouts for something that can be fixed by just going to the gym? Oh, but it's too hard. I'm so tired. Yeah, I said the same thing until I went outside. It's always hard when it's your first step outside, but you gotta make the effort to do that. Better yourself. Only then you will be able to actually be able to interact with people outside of your worldview. There's a reason why a lot of the popular streamers that are out here today, Mint, Doki, and other people, they're able to communicate with people regardless of political affiliations because they don't just stick to this terminally online worldview. Either they stay silent or they just dodge the whole thing.
right?
It's as simple as that.
Which is kind of it's just kind of unless you're going the whole the politics is the form of entertainment, which I wouldn't recommend just because politics is so volatile. I'm old enough to remember. Oh God, that's somebody's dream. That's somebody's dream. Somebody is hating themselves for not being you right now. But no, I think when I was younger or whatever, even when I was in my early 20s, the world of politics was something that wasn't generally discussed, was generally did not get cared about by the masses, and that was a good thing. I mean, I feel like it's good to just be generally informed, but I don't think that you should be treating that sort of thing like fucking the NFL. This is my guy, this is your guy,
I will defend politisburging on account of I find it entertaining and it brings me great joy.
Well, I mean, you deserve to feel joy, but
I just want to point you shouldn't laugh. That's all I want to do. It's if I don't care if it's politics, religion, race relations, or spurgs on the internet. I just laugh at everything, dude.
You're just I mean, yeah, but it's a lot of people. They're supposed to be that's the whole thing. It's man, weren't we just here to with the whole thing with BTA? I was man, I thought we were here to talk about VTubers. Why are we talking about whether women should have rights? What does I think girls should have rights. That's what do you mean by this? I don't, particularly it's these are not things that I generally care about, and this is also things that I just should not be. I should not be because I popping into something happened with oh God what
just happened to like dodge the whole thing because I decided to do my server cleanup on like New Year's. I didn't say anything. I just left, you know? And I just didn't feel like
we were the last two pillars holding that Discord together, apparently.
I mean, I'm just waiting for not nanos to like actually like leave the server. Like, save yourself the trouble. No one's really worth the effort there, you know?
I mean, VTubers shouldn't have rights because we're war criminals, not because we're, some of us are women.
Like, I don't know. Like, one of the things that really like
that is
like originally I had the thought of leaving the server when like the server drama that happened in like either October or November happened, and then I think it was like Ren friend who DM'd me and it was like, hey, what do you think of me? I'm like, I guess you're all right. Like, I didn't have like any major opinions or anything like that. I'm just mostly fairly neutral, and at most, like, I don't dislike anyone. I'll just be like, all right, this guy's dumb, this guy's dumb, this guy's okay, this one's a friend, so on and so forth. So I didn't really have any opinions. But the fact that Rin tried to get me involved in some dumb drama because it was already known that I was in both TVA and Zen server, I was like, oh no, I'm not getting involved in stupid woman drama. That's like the whole reason why I joined TVA in the first place. Like, yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I left. Actually, it wasn't because it was, again, partially about my personal feelings about like the whole I'm a Christian, and it's just like, oh wow, don't say I'm a Christian and then say everything else you just said after that, please. But mostly it was because I got a feeling that a lot of what I like, it's like I joined because it's like I like to talk about VTubers. I enjoyed them. I'm also one, but I like VTubers. Like, for all their, flaws and problems, the drama is just like something that sometimes happens. You're like, oh, let's laugh at it and move on. But generally, I like VTubers, and a lot of people in that Discord do not like or care about VTubers, and Proctor doesn't like women. Just in general, so it's just like we're gonna clash because I don't serve cunt. I am cunt serving. I love women. I'm sorry.
You might as well call me gay, but I also like dick.
Right? Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I'm never going to agree with you because I think maybe like this is a very milquetoast take, but I'm like, wow, I think women should have rights. I don't stone me, I guess. But
I'm not personally crazy about streamers, mostly because like I just don't, okay, ADHD moment, but sometimes I just don't like sitting and watching a stream for hours on end.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
YouTuber. Like, and this is partially because like why I also like decided to touch graphs, because I used to be in a streamer culture just before VTubing. So there's certain aspects that I don't necessarily like about like streaming and its communities, but I like VTubers as a concept. Like there's favorite VTubers. I like Lapis Hoshikage is like my Kamaoshi, and then Bibu's my favorite hololiver, I'd say that much. I'm also being mint pilled, but like I like talking about VTubers. I like seeing other people like enjoy VTubers, even if I don't necessarily feel the same way or have like the same level of enthusiasm, especially because I'm a huge like merch fan. I like collecting merch. That's like how I enjoy VTubers. So
spend money, consume, yes.
Bro, like
I have to show you like I have to actually get my full merch collection out. It's kind of, it's not really so much it's embarrassing, but it's more than I've shown because I've got a lot of stuff that's just that I have in storage because I haven't put up yet. But your heart is in the right place that you have terrible taste.
Full of Pakora stuff and $1,200 figure of Pakora in a kimono outfit. And
you have that figure? Let's fucking go.
I have it. I need a storage unit, but like that's just how I enjoy VTubers, And I like being a VTuber in the sense of like in a sense of sometimes I'll stream the stuff I am doing and I like talking to people, but I wouldn't call myself like a VTuber in the sense of I want to be a content creator and make billions of dollars and also get into like a corpo or some shit, So
everything I do in VTubing, everything, all of it, is in service of my actual ultimate dream, is to make like the sort of like eroge that would make people like want to like throw stones at me and ban me from the internet because oh no, that's too taboo and controversial. It's like people couldn't even hand Andy and Laylee, and like the incest in that was optional. but yeah, like everything I do is like it's like I love VTubing. VTubing is fun. The only reason I hadn't been on the forum as much is because I've been like trying to, take streaming a little bit more seriously as far as like the consistency and all of that. And that does take some both time and focus away from being a VTuber fan because, trying to like juggle those here.
The funny thing is that like I didn't join TVA because like, I wanted to get groomed. It was more like, so because I've talked about like stuff like why I don't like certain stuff on like the server before and like my personal perspective on stuff, but I had to like get used to like not necessarily streaming consistently because that's not really hard for me. It's more like getting used to like having to talk to people and being okay with networking, which is kind of like why we have the girls chat. Right? Because, like, let's be real. If I never met you girls, I'd probably never collab with people because I'm just too introverted to really want to go out of my way to talk to people. And not in a, I'm so shy. It's more like it's too much of a hassle.
Yeah, it is. Like that part of it. That part of VTubing is like really hard. I'm relatively extroverted, but I also have a kind of like a nervousness, which is not as bad now, but like kind of a nervousness being like, oh God, I don't have anything to offer because I don't number. Blah, 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 blah. There's a little bit. I'm not someone who personally cares about my numbers, but I am somebody who cares about how other people perceive my numbers or lack thereof. Well, it's like Proctor thought he came to the Discord to leech off an audience. Why would I want the audience of like the TVA Discord?
I mean, it was like I don't want them to be my primary audience, but I can't say that it wasn't. It's also due in part to them that I'm able to like try to debut this year and put more of an effort if they weren't there. And mind you, I actually do know how to network. Like, as I was talking more on TVA, like, sure, I'm not talking to, like, other VTubers, but I am reaching out in, like, fan spaces, chatting with them, chatting with some of my favorite Japanese artists and other people.
Yeah, and that's like actually
Blue Archive.
almost more effective than like chatting in the VTuber's face because if you just try to communicate with VTuber fans and stuff, there's a limit because there's like the pool isn't as big as say everybody that likes Blue Archive pool, for example, But yeah, it's like I didn't even admit that I was a VTuber when I started like on TV. I didn't like actually like start shilling myself over there for like a year. I'm just there to chat about VTubers. Like,
I would like to comment on Haka. Haka, be thankful I yelled at all the girls to make the girl chat, or else it would be nothing but BL in general all day long.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So the funny story is that I didn't know it was actually made because again, introverted and it's too much of a hassle to like actually like know where everything is. So I was actually the last person to join in.
Yeah, I literally just
I didn't know
a couple of days ago.
And
she did not know.
Like it's not even because I was
some
being
friend you are,
included.
Trixie. God.
It was for reasons. It was like it wasn't for. I'm not a bad friend. I'm a bad lot of things, but I'm not a bad friend.
I'm just kind of like doing my own. I'm like in my own wavelength. That's really what it is. Like it's one of and I don't necessarily blame them because a lot of the stuff I say, like when you have like a face forward
I would never betray my fucking wife. Number two.
No. I'm saying like
not in position, but in the say in the order that I got them. I say I love them both equally.
No, I kind of figured what the perspective was like, sometimes like with the way how Iris talks about like politics and stuff, I don't know if she's like actually a pick me or if she's just like a weird ass. And it's just like, no, she's just legit. She just says shit and then she just moves on. That's just how it is.
No thoughts had empty.
Exactly. It's
I'm
like
just doing my own thing, and then people are like, "Hey, do you like hate X person?" I'm like, "No, I like them. I wonder how they're doing." And then that's how I got invited.
Right? Yeah. And misunderstandings count 0 now. Like, thank you.
It's really hard to get someone to be like, "Oh my god, I hate someone." Like, I will always say, like, the things that I don't like is cattiness. Right? I don't like people talking behind my back. Like, I think it's just better to be like, yo, Virus, you dislike it? I'll be like, no. And then they'll be like, all right, we cool. I kind of have like that tomboyish, like, well, I guess male-minded, like, mindset in a way. I'm just fucking weird.
Right? It's
You're
just like,
fine. You're fine. You're fine.
If only one could be spared.
I'm just really cautious about things that like, because one thing I never actually like done on TV, I've never actually went into detail about the things I like and how much I like them, because those are the things that define me. But I didn't want people to know about that kind of stuff, like why I never wanted to do art streams, because like art is very much something that I hold close to me and me alone, and I don't want that to be like my main thing as like a VTuber. I like buying shit, and I like gacha games, especially Blue Archives and lollies. Like, as long as those things are just not really interfered, there's no reason for me to like dislike you.
Right? It's like, do not touch my lollies, for the love of God.
Yeah.
We will adore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like my hobby. My hobby is saying very, very mild things about Mayoshi and getting Migo 20 times. I actually made a game out of it. It's very funny for me to just mention, oh, I watched a stream with Mayoshi in it today, and then be like, oh, we don't care about the and it's just like, you don't care about them, but you're not the target audience. Like, that's the price of allowing women in your club. Exactly.
Exactly, Sark. Like, I like my 1,000-year-old lolly,
It's a good trope. It's a trope for a reason, and it's good.
The only lollies I didn't like are like, I guess, like the lollies that directly cater to like hyper lolicons. Like, that is a little bit skeevy, but like even then I'll just be like, I don't like that, but I respect the hustle. The hustle. I respect.
Good night, everybody.
It's like, hey, bills gotta be paid. It's like, bills gotta be paid. Like, I'm not paying them, but
damn, I'm not gonna take the fucking moral argument. I don't like it, but hey, you got the hustle. You got it.
Right. It's like, that is an avenue. There's a lane for you out there. That's like I was saying yesterday. It's like, hey, anybody can be. Yes, like anybody can be a beast. But I do want to survive. I want to see which one, because they asked which one of your pets would you pick to survive if you could only spare and you had to eat the other two. But I mean, eating whichever one might count as more affectionate than sparing them, because the natural connection that comes with cannibalism. Like, you can't eat somebody and not care about them.
What, cannibals?
We're hitting all the topics. We're hitting all the usual VTuber topics at this point.
I have feelings about it. I just have strong feelings about this. Is like the thing. My personal like weirdo freak fiction power levels. I have not even touched them in any of my streams at all. I'm still barely sedate.
Honestly, like if I can like get my PC, like I want to be able to play like non-indie games. Like personally, I'm an indie game lover, love them.
Yeah.
But I want to play like Monster Hunter Wilds, Elden Ring,
Oh yeah, that'd be
the Nier
fun.
games and stuff like that. I just gotta update my 10-year-old hunk of junk here. So, yeah. So I want to do that
But
first.
I'm
But
gonna need
you know,
I'm saying I'm gonna
broke.
need y'all to will. I'm gonna need y'all to will so I can watch her play Nier and cry because I want that.
But you know, like
let me turn cause Miss. Oh God, I saw some. Ooh, that thumbnail.
ooh.
Wowzers. That was not for y'all. That was for me. But Fauna's stream's starting, so I
Okay.
want to put that on. Just I only saw a couple of Fauna streams, but I always really liked like what the content of hers that I did see.
I just hope she does well on her
Oh
private
no,
life.
I'm pretty sure she'll be fine. I'm looking forward to seeing it's like I am looking forward to seeing her and well, Lemon and Chondo stream together again. I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I don't like how people, especially on like VT, like they're really like tribal fagging like really hard because they're just like, why would you ever want to leave the best opportunity of
Yeah,
your
it's
life?
like they
It
don't
makes
have
no sense.
Yeah, it's like they don't have individual Oshis. It's like Hololive, the company is their Oshi. And it's like that's about as dumb as like being somebody who genuinely loves Funko Pops for the quality of the art.
Yeah.
Because Hololive, I mean, I respect Goo, I respect all the girls, but the reason that Hololive is what it is because of the people there, not necessarily like Blue Dorito. It's because the girls are great.
I will always say that like Niji Sanji fans and Hololive fans are two sides of the same coin. They do the exact same thing and they fucking hate when the other person is doing it, but one of them get blamed for it, Two
Yeah,
sides of the
not
same
me
coin.
though. I'm different. I'm enlightened because I'm aware when I'm a hypocrite. But no, it's just like, why wouldn't you like? It's like, why would you like Hololive girls? They're cute, but it's like, I also feel that way about like girls streamers in general. I just like VTubers. So
Girls, I have to ask permission since he fucking won't. Can Haka come in?
Yeah, but he has to get his nails done, like on God.
Yes,
Get your nails done
for real.
and then he can
fleek.
come in. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yes, slay.
Yes, slay,
queen.
girl.
I can't hit that. I can't hit that high of a note.
Yes, queen. Let me see if I have the voice.
Haka, yes, queen.
Oh God, let me see if I have it. Access. I should have access to it.
But like I feel like Fauna leaving and other people like leaving Hololive, it's a lot more simpler than like people think it is. I know middle management is a bitch, but that's just kind of like the nature of having to deal with a corporation as someone who deals with middle management. But I think it's really just down to travel. Like, imagine you don't want to necessarily live in Japan, right? But you have to travel out multiple times a year to Japan, right? And then you also have your own dietary needs because Fauna is vegan, I think, or vegetarian. Like, this is like basically the same thing.
She's like a plant.
Well,
Yeah.
cut to the point. If at this point in time, if you apply to work at Hololive or Ninja Sanji, right? Well, the two big ones. If you apply to two big ones at this day and age, you know what you're getting yourself into. If you claim ignorance, you're a fucking retard.
It's a thing though. It's not because like Hololive changed like a whole bunch even since Fauna joined it. Like, I would say if you applied today, you would know what you were getting to because I think they're kind of settling into what they're going to be. But there's been a whole lot of structural changes in both of them. So it's just like I can see being like maybe, like Fauna or, like a Fauna or even like a BB and like getting there and just like, hey, when I applied to this is not necessarily what I thought it was going to be. It's okay to, get there, decide it's not what you want, or I'm not trying to do this anymore, and like leave, even if like these armchair quarterbacks don't understand it. It's like, listen, you will probably never like. It's like a lot of people that are like thinking like they know how to manage her career. It's like you will never accomplish half of what she's accomplished as a streamer in your life. Let's not get shit twisted for her to even get in there.
Like,
Yeah.
there's an obvious reason why. Like, now they're looking at two views who would never really like get the attention from like maybe 2021, 2022 Hololive, because like times are different, you know?
And that's
like,
why I'm going to fucking make it, because the standards have been lowered. Oh,
I believe in you, sister.
hell yes! Hell
Yes!
Fuck off! But it's like, so it's like on the one hand, as like a fan, it's like, no, you're not. But yeah, it's like as a fan, I'm always sad to see people like go. You know, I hope it's for reasons that are positive and not negative. But as like, as somebody that's hungry, if somebody's got that dog in them, I'm like, okay, look, you can, if you don't want to be there, move aside. I can't. You know.
Like, honestly, I think probably like a good question, because I know damn well none of these girls are fucking single. I don't believe they're actually single, right? Like,
shut up, let me dream.
if they're moving to like Japan, right? How is that gonna really work on their spouse? Because if I understand about like having a visa for Japan, you need a work visa, which is like the whole thing that Ina got like problems with back in like November.
Yeah. I don't believe they're all in relationships, because it's like the thing like is that like most VTubers are like mentally ill.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to date a really mentally ill person. So
they are weak.
It would be kind of hard because, like, you know, I wouldn't mind living in Japan, but I'm also in like a long-term relationship, you know? So it's kind of like, okay, I moved to Japan, but because I'm the one that works for a Japanese company and I also know some level of Japanese, then like I'm all right. But, you know, I also can't just stay in like my home state because that's a 14-hour fucking flight and I can't do that multiple times a year.
Yeah, because I think Hololive with this, with the amount of lives they do, which is great that Ian has the access to those lives right now, but they also do like that a lot more than working in literally any other corpo in the English sphere, because they have that opportunity so much. It's like you're going to be doing that a lot.
Probably be more ambivalent to that if I had to like travel to California, because yeah, California is still far, but it's still like the United States far, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, moving to Japan is tough because on one hand, I am a lazy person. I don't want to have to travel and lose an entire day trying to travel from my state to Japan. I already learned that the first fucking time. It's not something that I could do like multiple times a year, you know?
You know,
And
I believe you can. I believe you can fumble Shiori. Like I believe in you. You can do that. Yes,
thank
please.
you, sister.
Shoot your shot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shoot your shot, boy. You got it. You can.
I will
it.
fumble like no one has ever fumbled
Exactly.
before. I will be on that floor crying and begging like my life depends on it. Damn it.
And also,
It's like
moving
you
is hard.
fumble badder bitches than people have ever even dreamed of asking out. You go. You do that.
Go. But yeah, that's like my personal like perspective on that matter. I think that like, you know, like I could see more people graduating on those merits because it is a tough ask and covers do want to move towards that direction. I don't think it's a bad thing that covers wants to make like Hololive more into like, I know like idol stuff is like a good description, but it's not the accurate description of what I want. I'd say like they're trying to make Hololive more like Love Live in the sense of like,
yeah,
they're not just the voice actors anymore. Now it's like
the characters themselves.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I was about to mention that because there's also the pseudo anime project that they teased a couple years ago that didn't actually go anywhere, as far as I'm aware. they're trying to basically turn Hololive into a pseudo anime, multimedia project and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
there was that kind of MMO gacha looking game with the Hollow they tried a while back
yeah, Hollow Earth.
Yeah, and that never really went anywhere. But even though it never really went anywhere, that does tell you what they want to do in the grand scheme of things.
Like, yeah, I want to buy my own merch, please. Like, that's
What?
I
That's
wanna
the dream. That's literally like
I want
the
to
whole
buy
thing of
my
wanting to be a
own merch
VTuber.
and make like fucking merchandise, like propaganda
lying to
video to
myself.
make people. Yes, loving myself. Yes, I'm my biggest
Exactly.
fan.
Exactly. Like it's like you could never, you could never, like it's like you could never love me like I love me in both a self-love sense
Exactly.
and a fucking gooning sense.
Why you should subscribe to me? I am the best. Source me.
Yes.
Exactly.
Like,
It's like
I don't.
I hate an all modest bitch. Like, talk your shit.
Even then, like, like this sounds really controversial because that's like kind of like why people like Hololive to begin with, but I do kind of like Hololive as like this mass multimedia thing than just streaming. Mostly because I liked Kizuna Ai when she did like her old short form videos, like the original like VTubing concept back then. But because I don't really watch streams too much, being able to buy their merch, listening to their songs and then the concerts and all that bullshit, that's my thing. If they made like short animes for like Halloween, I would watch it,
Right.
I would definitely watch it. But I know like that's kind of the direction Hololive is going towards. And I feel like it's not as simple as just, oh man, you just make a shit ton of money by being in Hololive. It's a tough ask. Like, maybe you might have to move to Japan, and that's gonna have to be an option, I know people gave Fuamoko shit for it, but when I saw Bibu do it, I was like, it's probably because
the fact that they gave Fuamoka shit for it is stupid, and like people are stupid. People are so stupid they don't even like. It's like, oh, I love my. People be saying that's my Oshi and be capping because the real person with their Oshi is like, yes, I can say the shit they're doing is stupid, but that's my motherfucking Oshi. And you never have to say, you don't get to call my Oshi stupid. I can say that, they made a dumb decision, whatnot, or whatever. But when you like, oh yeah, I don't know why those stupid bitch did that. I'm like, no, that's not your Oshi. Kill yourself, actually.
Excuse me, that's not a stupid
You
bitch.
can honestly say, kill yourself. It's like, if you ever, like, speaking ill of your own Oshi is like, cut your own tongue out. That's haram.
Excuse me, that is not a stupid bitch, that is my stupid bitch.
Exactly.
Oh god, I truly am one of the girlies. I'm gonna go kill
You
myself.
are. It's just like, yeah, but for real, that's why I'd be like, damn, since somebody doing some stupid shit. It's like, damn, I'll say Kuro. Kuro does silly things sometimes. I mean, like, yeah, that wasn't really the smartest
sometimes,
thing.
like that one time he
Yeah.
almost fucking died just by existing in the streets of.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's like them because like you do stupid shit, and they're like, oh yeah, that's stupid motherfucker. Bitch, did I ask you? Your stupid opinion?
I mean, like, hell, like, I guess, like, really the only thing that you're gambling on more is how long Hololive is gonna last, like, past, like, 10 years or so, Because right now,
it's gonna be, yeah.
Because, like, once Hololive, like, decides to go under or they're not making as much money anymore because, look at what happened to Kizuna Ai. Shit happens sometimes, right? What are you gonna do? I know, like, there's a new faction of, like, VTubers where they're becoming indies, but, like, let's say you move to Japan, you can't stay in Japan anymore without revoking your citizenship. So,
right.
Yeah.
It becomes, a lot like.
Oh yeah,
I'm very interested. I'm very interested to see, like, and not in the way that I am a Niji Sanji fan, where I'm accelerating to see Hololive's next wave. I am curious to see because I'm curious to see what they're going to have to do and what more of the direction. I mean, you can kind of see it with Justice. like the kind of direction or what they're looking for, but I'm curious to see more of like where it is they're trying to do, what it is they're trying to do, where they're trying to go.
Yes, the direction of justice. Funny accent.
Funny accent, good. What do you mean?
I mean, hey, I'm not complaining.
Right,
Hey,
it's like we love a funny accent. We love,
listen,
you know,
fuck Italians, but also fuck Italians.
real. So
Oh,
real, bestie.
Sark, the point is
Never talk
less
to me
about
again.
having to like revoke your citizenship. It's more like it's less of that and more like if Hololive is gone, right? And you didn't become a citizen, right? And you don't know a lick of Japanese after staying there for God knows how long. You're kind of screwed. You have to go back home, you know? Like, is there a home for you to go back to? Like, you're going to be kind of like displaced, honestly, you know? And I can kind of see why, like, you know, especially nowadays, like, you might want to, like, be a little more cautious about joining Hololive because you also got to think about the future.
Yeah, it's just a really like super huge, time commitment, all of that, which I'm sure, a lot of the girls,
I mean,
they're
it's a full-time job.
thinking about.
Full stop. It's just a slightly different kind of job, but it's a full-time job.
Yeah, it's a job, but I think it's like more of it's like a job, but it's also like a lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like the kind of job where you don't just stop being Gura, for example. Even though you're not streaming, you're never not Gura.
Yeah.
Like I can see why that would
No,
be.
I would say she was not Gura for about 9 months. So
I mean, shit. I mean, on the one hand, yes, but I mean, as far as
of all the
her
examples,
role, I'm saying her role, not necessarily her fucking. You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up.
I don't know. Like, I think it's just one of those things that, like, is kind of important, especially if you're older. I think it's a lot easier if you're, like, in your early 20s to do that. But if you're, like, let's say 35, right? And then you're getting older and older, yeah, I'd probably, like, be like, like, what are my protections? Am I getting health insurance? Right? Like, am I getting, like, a decent apartment? Like, what if I have a spouse, right? And I'm flying to Japan to be a hololiver, you know? They're not tags, they're your peers! They're your fucking peers!
I mean, it's kind of like this sort of thing, like, I guess pursuing, like, big major VTubing things is a little bit easier for me because it's like I'm hag, but I'm also, I don't have like there's not like a whole big I don't have like a house that I'm paying for or a family to take care of besides, my dogs and whatnot. I'm not like having to like make those sort of compromises that people like, that moms or people with established careers or some shit have to make. So it's like really my whole life failing and everything was preparing for me to be a VTuber.
Yeah,
I always ask God, why me? And it was like, oh, I was just preparing you to become a VTuber, my child. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it.
Born to be the clown, the court jester.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
You love
Yeah.
to see it.
I think that's just kind of like the whole thing that I think people should be a little bit more like cautious about joining. I also kind of realized that like I think realistically, I don't think Hololive cares that much about blacklists. Like I'm pretty sure there is a Hololive blacklist, but it's not based on like whether or not if you associated with TVA or VT, because let's be real, most of the VTubers there has probably been in some level of problematic shit, and it's just
probably closer to like the things that would get you blacklisted for Hololive are probably stuff like violating like NDAs, like stuff involving money and business and shit. Like if they can't trust you to like keep your back, certain things like that part thing will probably get you blacklisted.
Or straight up criminality because everyone be touching kids nowadays,
I
I mean,
think,
yeah, if you got a record,
I think being a little bit more realistic, I think it's also like a personality thing too. Like they're not gonna hire
Yeah.
someone who's like way too right wing or left wing because they need someone to actually work together with the talents. And I feel like a lot of the people who want to join Hololive, even though they have the right personality, sometimes they can't jibe together in a group. And Hololive thrives
that's
on
a
group
big. That's
dynamic.
a not being able
Yeah.
to work with other people is a big. You're not getting into Scorpio killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I mean,
there's like a.
Like I'm gonna show up. Like if I had to like, I don't know what's the word for it. If I had to like do like a like interview and like they're just like, okay, tell me about yourself. I'm gonna be like, hey, here's a picture of like all my merch. Do you like this blue archive Christmas tree? Yeah, I like it too.
Send me a picture of your archive Christmas tree.
Hold on a
For
second. guys.
one.
you know, that's a lot of that's a very elaborate way to say you're a massive consumer. You're a
Yeah.
terminal consumer.
Like I like look at all my blue archive merch. I like blue archive a lot. I live and die on blue archive.
It's like if
Why-
you're expecting me to have any other personality trait, the answer is no. Fuck it, I like blue archive.
I love how your way of getting a job is, yes, let me show you how I spend money on companies that are not yours.
Exactly, because I'm gonna do the same for you, and then that's when she pulls out the fucking, you know,
The Pokora slide.
merch. Yes, merch collection is like basically like the money spread video of the weed world. To be honest,
Listen,
Like-
I am perfectly content with my Bota Nendo. That's all I need.
No,
oh my god,
My precious. That's all I need.
yeah, I have like a lot of Pokora stuff. I'm trying to like not really actively collect Bijou merch, but I want to get all her birthday merch because I kind of like Bibu a lot, like a normal amount. So
trying to go back and get someone's birthday merch after their birthday is a bit of a pain because I missed 1 year, like this last year, because I didn't have a job. I missed like 1 year of Lucas merch, and I'm like, oh, birthday merch, and I'm like, oh, should I kill myself? Just like I can just order it because that's okay, but it's kind of different. Like getting in on the ground floor of like somebody, like a streamer or like a VTuber, kind of fucks up your brain a little. Which is why
yeah.
like VTuber, like be a VTuber fan responsibly.
I love it. Woman is left jobless. Luca Kaneshiro most effective.
Exactly. That was the important part. Not that, like, my streak was broken. I was a member of his from the day his membership stream dropped. I lost several months because I didn't have a job. So there are people in that stream that I know have less months of membership than me as far as time, but it looks like they were there longer because they had money the whole time. I'm like, yeah, maybe I could just die.
Her
It's like it's not that serious, but if you are like that at that point with a Kamiyoshi, then you kind of get that like level of insanity. And it is
suicide.
insanity.
Your suicide note gets an extra line added for every a close friend you lost.
it's like the fucking you know capitalist is gonna fucking shoot up a Walmart because of HIPAA.
Yeah.
Like that first beats it, but then like fucking I committed suicide because I
You're gonna walk into a Walmart with a suicide vest, demanding to be given the Luca Kaneshiro acrylic pen, and they're not gonna know what the fuck you're talking about.
Exactly. It's like, would you like me to change the trajectory of all of our lives, both you, me, and everyone else in this fandom?
You walk up to a bunch of kids. Hey, kids, you want to see a dead body?
Exactly. Like, and this is why this is why the line between fan and schizo is easily crossed. You gotta make sure you stay far.
And you're
Stay far from
stomping
it.
on it.
Exactly. I'm like looking at it like sticking your toe in the water like you know.
No, you're tap dancing over that fucking line.
like no, it's like just talking. It's like because if I do that, then I'm definitely not going to be able to buy the birthday merch this year if I'm dead. So, like, think about about it. It's like I'm playing a long game.
Like,
All
I'm
those
trying
Walmart
to wait
shoppers have
for-
the fucking Niji merch to thank
their,
for
lives
their
were,
lives.
their lives were spared.
Like, you know what's the more annoying part about Hololive merch? So there's a reason why I don't really collect Pecora merch as well. I actually stopped after the FGO thing because that came out of the blue, and I'm not happy about that. But I digress.
you for that fucking thing.
No, it's because I already have like a bunch of Pecora figures. I gotta finish it up. I already have like 2 out of the 4. I gotta finish it.
I will fight you for the Pecora Mash figure. I don't care. I will fight you
No.
on the streets.
No.
Pick the Waffle House.
No.
They're
Square
gonna
up.
throw down. They're gonna throw down.
Pick the fucking Waffle House, woman. I will even
You
give
know
you
what?
home cooked organic.
Oh,
I understand because it's like I still like Grail after it's like the Astola Flow fucking ruler, like the race merch, the statue. It's like $300. That's one of my grails. I want it so bad. I'd fight somebody for that.
I have a couple of grails. One of the grails I want is like the Card Capture Sakura kimono figure, like the one with the real cloth. But I
Oh
got
yeah.
talked out of that one. I got talked out of that one because at the time I didn't have the money for it, and this was before like
okay.
the yen dropped, like drop.
Okay, yeah, like back before you could like, yeah, this is back when I would like, oh god, I mean, Ame account that like fucking got shut down. So
Oh my
the
god,
history we had, all the history that we had,
God! Like
all the
I-
fucking Nendoroids that I got off that account gone. All my apes gone.
God, like so it's so fucking like painful. And the worst part is just kind of like the year of Pecora is what really made me quit because there was so much motherfucking Pecora merch. Like imagine every month there was like 50 new pieces of merch, right? And I get paid bi-weekly.
Consume, little piggy.
I'm a Luxium fan. I don't even
Consume.
really have to imagine. Like that first year, they milked us like fucking cows. Like, are you kidding me? Like the way, like, why isn't your Oshi?
I have a
Stop
Pecora
producing.
in the bag.
Please stop producing merch of my Oshi so I can stop being poor. But like, give me too much. Like, let me save it back.
Usually I buy my merch in batches, actually. I don't buy it
Right.
like, you know,
When it
a
comes
little
out
at a time.
immediately.
Yeah, I usually, mostly because I shop around and like look to see like the stuff that I like, right? Like for example, I bought like a lot of keychains for like Pecora, right? First I started off with like bootlegs, but then I started transitioning more into like actual like legitimate merch, right? And
Yeah.
like that's how I ended up making my Pecora Ida bag. It was very painful. Like my god. But honestly, like I'm not, whenever I look at it, I get like kind of depressed because it was so much money. A lot of
Oh,
that came
God.
from like the year of Pecora, and the worst part is it's not that Pecora isn't my Oshi, it's just I like her for her design, but she's not necessarily my favorite. That's the fucked up part.
That is
Oh,
kind
so
of
you're a
it's like,
superficial whore.
yeah, it's like so if somebody see you on the street and you're like, oh, and you run into somebody that Oshi, copy Oshi, you're probably gonna feel a little bit like a
You're a fucking tourist.
I wouldn't say she wasn't my Oshi because I did like her, but then as time went on, there were VTubers I happened to like more, but they don't get as much merch compared to Pecora. And I still like Pecora for her design. With every
Right.
single outfit she gets, it's always peak. Like it's
Exactly.
my strike zone.
They never miss. They never miss.
They never miss. So, because of that, I kept buying Pecora merch, even though at that point I was basically like a Bibu fan, right? But Biju, she's not popular enough for the Japanese to care about her, so she
That's
never
the
gets
worst.
merch.
Rare.
The thing is, like, it's kind of like, wow, you know, where's your taste at, Japan?
It's
Like, what do you mean?
I actually had kind of a toxic thought about Fuamoko because I was kind of salty about it when they got their Nendroid announced. And I was like, do you mean to tell me Fuamoko gets like their merch, their Nendroids announced before the rest
I feel
of
like
their
they should
gen?
have. I feel like they should have just waited. And I know that's not like necessarily on them personally, but as far as like the Mane fans, like I feel like they should have just announced like as a wave.
Yeah.
Or at least not so much to where it's like they still don't. The fact that it's like, speaking of killing myself, the fact that there's not a Pomu Mendoroid makes me want to kill myself.
Oh yeah. Like,
Please don't kill yourself.
That's my last one.
yeah, I'm gonna.
But did anyone but Bob?
No. The thing is, it's like Rosemi does not. It's like they finally got the rest of like Lexia, but it's just like, where the fuck is the rest of this fucking branch's Nendoroids? What the fuck do you need if there is not a Petro Nendoroid? Y'all really?
They do not
really
matter.
fumbling. No, you don't understand. You don't understand.
No,
This is not about marketing. This is not about management. This is not about merch. This is about my motherfucking Nendoroid collection that remain. Because I don't technically own any of like I haven't bought any of the Luxembourgs yet either. Because it's just like, why the fuck does last night have like they would have sold like this is the kind of shit. This is the kind of things that I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit more worked up than I intended to. But the sort of mistakes, the sort of people that made those missteps are the reason that February happened.
Yeah.
Like the same sort of management that did not like looked at it and be like, yeah, no.
No, you're right. You're so
we're not
right.
gonna make the obvious slam dunk choice here when people are begging you to like, please let me spend my money on this and not do it. Like I don't like. It's like, I'm glad those people are probably like those management, that middle management is probably fired and begging on the side of the road, and I hope a lot of them committed seppuku because they fucking deserve to.
I would like to make I would like to make an observation. Isn't it funny how we started off the stream talking about Bong and TVA, and we transitioned over very, very quickly to what TVA doesn't seem to be doing much anymore, which is talk about VTubers. I find this funny.
I mean, shit, that's what I care about. I don't care about that man. I care about my Oshi.
I would like to congratulate us. I would like to congratulate us all on a successful transition.
Yes, it's a transition period. Let's go, us. New year.
No, like, my issue is, like, okay, like, I agree with Trixie, because as a collector, right, you want to get the whole set. And it's so fucking dangerous, right? Which is kind of why I've been really cautious until Blue Archive happened, which is why I was really cautious about buying Nendroids or figures in a collection, because you then gotta finish it, right?
Right.
So I usually stick to be like, all right, I like this person. Like, realistically, I wouldn't be able to get every single Hololive figure because that's way too expensive, and I'm not that much of a Hololive fan to really, like, justify that. But there's some that I like, right? So what pissed me off about, like, Fuamoko getting the Nendroid was that the only reason why they got the Nendroids is because Japan likes them, not necessarily because it sounds mean, but not necessarily because they deserved it. Because if they did deserve it, we'd probably already have, like, at the time, the rest of Gen 1 getting their Nendroids and their pop-ups, Gen 2 getting their Nendroids and pop-ups, and then Gen 3. Because Gen 2 still doesn't have, like, their Nendroids released yet, and you're telling me that you're announcing Fuamoko and they're probably going to get pushed up because they're so popular with Japan? That's not fair,
You
man.
know what else?
It's not fair, but it's business. Who makes the decision? Who produces them? And who's the primary market?
It's business, but fuck them. And it's even more annoying too, because this is like another reason why I stuck to collecting Pokora merch for so long. There's not that much EN merch compared compared to JP Hololive merch. It's really easy to get merch for anyone within JP Hololive, but the second you try to look for non-Gura merch, and we're not even talking about shit like stuff that you get at cons or Comic-Con, we're just talking about official merch, right? If you're not Gura, you're not getting official merch. You know?
No, listen, I get the merch envy. Like I'm used to living in the niche and all the shit that I'm into.
Yeah.
So I don't get anything for the shit that I like.
Oh god,
So
you know what
I get
else?
it.
You know what else makes me really like a little bit just really kind of I don't understand why you're doing this and it makes me angry. Like when you go to all these cafe collabs and this exclusive merch to other countries that that I'm gonna have to pay out the ad. This is Ian, motherfucker. I'm an Ian fan. Why is all the good Ian merch designs, all the good spandees, all the good keychains, all the stuff? Why is all that going to no offense to our good friends in Taiwan, but why the fuck do I have to go to why the fuck do I have to go all the way over there or order at the ass to get something for an EN member? Like, bitch, that's mine. I will pay for it. I pay for it just I would fight y'all for it. I would win.
I expect to see a video of a black lady fighting a Taiwanese lady over VTuber merch at a cafe in the coming months.
Like, I didn't know they released Biju's Hololive Friends, right?
It's the circle of life. Exactly. Now you understand why budgeting is such an important thing. Actually, budgeting for a VTuber fan, if you were to help me come out with a video about that,
yeah,
I would become more popular and we would actually save lives.
Oh, for real. Oh, I'm looking at Biju, right? Biju, her fucking Hollow Friends with You plush, it's $85 to $90, right? Now that's because Bijou is popular, but if you look at someone like Shiori, here's one for $65 on eBay. You can get one. $65 for a plush? Damn, I'm gonna buy that shit. Part of my hobby is stalking eBay for maybe an hour or two a day, favoriting, watching, and liking the stuff that I want.
I understand. I have to. It's I'm not quite there. I'm not quite at that point, but I do have. Actually, let's just look and see. I do have. God, it's not shop. Because I do have shop to track my Macari. I do have certain Macari tags saved. I do. Let's see what's going on because I have the Sanrio stuff saved because I'm a Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty specifically though. Fuck out of other hoes. I love Hello Kitty and Hello Kitty alone.
A woman in Sanrio. Name a greater pairing. I'll wait.
Exactly.
That's kind of why
you're one of those. It's yeah, I'm one of those. The whole rabid, the rabbit thing inside of me, they're just as in every woman that is a VTuber fan. It's just a little bit well hidden because I'm generally sedate. But
I went to Japan last year in October, right? And I went to K-Books in Akiba, right? Why don't we have our own K-Books, or at least have K-Books make an overseas website to sell their stock? Because I could see why, or when people do their shrines, and especially birthday merch shrines, they buy multiple copies of the same acrylic, right? And it's because when you go to places like that, reseller stuff, they price it up slightly higher, but you can get multiple copies of a single merch. You can even get multiple copies of doujinshi merch. You have them all right there, and they cost less in Japan because, not only because of the yen, but also because it's more affordable than trying to buy it off of eBay or Buy by people trying to make 3 times the amount of profit selling their own copies. you know?
Yeah, it's like there is no hell more deep than I want to exchange these goods and services. I want these goods and services, and I have money, but you won't let me do it. You won't let me spend my money on this.
How do you expect me to get Dojin merch if I have to pay like, $65 for an acrylic stand? Like, that's insane. You know?
Well, and you know what? I also fucking hate credit card companies. Why won't you let me be a goddamn cougar? I'm a grown woman. If I want to buy a fucking Dojin or whatnot, if I want to go on whatever his website to get there, why the fuck are you telling me no? You can't subscribe to Pixel. Like, the fuck you mean I can't? I'm going to cause an incident. Like, it's like I grew up, young. Exactly. I can't buy Black Souls. But it's like I grew up young in, a young Christian home in the South, and it's just like, hey, you can't purchase. Yeah, exactly. You can't purchase these booby things. You can't look at boobs. It's like I was like, I am an adult. I was on a hag show yesterday. Why the fuck can I not purchase with my money? I'm not on. It's like, no offense to people who are on like the dole or anything, but this is money that I earned. That I went to judge. I pay taxes. You're telling me that I can't spend my money on, you fucking commie? Like, excuse me? It just makes me upset. This is like, I know this is like, I'm getting blacklisted. Like, somebody's watching this like, oh yeah, no, we're not taking her nowhere.
God, I just can't stand like these merch practices. And actually, I really do want to talk about it. Like, not just HoloLive particular, but like VTuber merch, right? And I think this was like a conversation that was going on in like TVA, I think, because people were calling Bao retarded because he keeps getting scammed, right?
No, it's because the merch company, that's like they're predatory. Like, they're actually there wasn't an established thing in place. And like a lot of people, it's kind of like the same thing with VTuber companies.
No, I have a different perspective on that. Okay, I feel so like my personal opinion is I feel like a lot of people, they want to be like HoloLive, right? Like, they want to have the merch deals with Good Smile Company. They want to have like Holo Friends with you with their own like plushies, right? Because people like owning physical merch of their favorite streamer and their favorite content creators, right? That makes sense. But the problem is that some of these people, especially like the large VTubers, because the way how they tried to hide information from each other because they all see each other as competitors.
Yeah, the gatekeeping.
It's not even gatekeeping. It's quite literally just not sharing information, even though you've been scammed, right? Like, they all know they've been scammed, but they can't go out and say it's because I was trying to get merch because I want to be the first person out and have this idea because I want to be seen as like the first person who does it, instead of like, hey, we're all ligs. Let's tell people which merch companies are good and which merch companies are bad. Because fundamentally, at the end of the day, like, the VTubers who can afford to have their own merch be funded, they're not going to have a problem. So there's no reason why you're trying to go to sketchy third-party companies to like even try to get that out, like before someone else. And I never really liked that logic in like the VTubing scene, because it just promotes like it basically promotes people openly calling you an idiot because you don't have someone else to reel you back in and like bring your head back down to earth. Like, you gotta know, like, hey, this is just not possible. We are not HoloLive. HoloLive is really only able to do a lot of this stuff because they do have connections. That's the whole thing Mel got fired for a year ago, because they straight up have those connections and they know how to do it. But the average indie, no matter if you're in Japan or you're in the West, like it's the same thing. You don't have the connection, you're not gonna get the legit companies. You gotta be someone important. At that point, if you want merch on the level of HoloLive, straight up join HoloLive. That's really how it goes down to. Same thing with Niji Sanji, right? You want easy merch? Go to Niji Sanji.
And be a man.
Actually, don't. Actually, no. Don't go. As a matter of fact, if any of you are saying, like, thinking about, like, listening to this, which I don't think anybody listening to this falls under the preview of people that would apply to Niji Sanji, but if you're thinking about it, don't.
Yeah.
Do it.
Until
It would be really funny.
No,
It would be really funny.
No,
Do
you
it.
don't understand. No, you don't understand.
Oh, I
gotta
understand
need
perfectly, and it would be
though.
really funny.
No, you misunderstand. Like, you know, it's like I get what you're saying, but you don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like, having connections is a lot. It's like partially why with my current artist, like my 2.0 artist, I part of the reason why I picked her, besides the fact that she draw good, is that she does also produce merch already. Like, she already has her own store. So I wanted to be able to, like, hey, if I want to make this or I want to make that, it would probably be easier. Like, I could just be like, hey, can you design this for me, as opposed to having to like have another point of like outsources.
Like, not even like FaZe Connect can get like their merch out on time. Like, you're better, and unironically, I think this is more of a better idea. Why not just go to the fan merch like creators? You talk to them, you make a contract, and you have limited run pre-orders, right? People would pay for that. It works for both you and them, and then you basically get to support them, because those are the people who actually know how to get realistic merch done, especially those plushie merches and those acrylic stands. Go to them. Like, it's that simple. You just go to them. I think Bao's a fucking idiot for one thing, though, and that's the whole thing of trying to get an animation company on the level of like Hosho Marin, because she wants to make her fucking like treasure box version about a song about parasocialism, right? Wasted $20,000 and then thought, yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm like, no, dog, like, it does not cost $20,000 to make an animation like similar to Hosho Marin. Hosho Marin is in such debt to the company, she will never be able to leave. You know?
Hi, Stuffy.
I mean, if I had you know, Hosho Marina, my baby, like, she wouldn't be able to leave my, you know, company either if I, you know, put it, you know, yeah.
And even then, like, the funny thing about that too, that some people aren't really understanding about like Hosho Marin's animations, like, again, it comes down to they have connections to animation companies, and this is just limited to people within Japan. They're not going to work with Westerners. Straight up. The only VTuber I've really been able to see who's not a graduate from like Niji Sanji, who is able to work with a Japanese artist, was Iron Mouse. So how you, Bao, is going to go get an animation on that level? Be a little bit realistic. Like, hire like a bunch of different animators, have it be a multi-animator project, right? It might not be the same scale, but you'll save so much more fucking money doing that rather than trying to like be indie HoloLive.
Now I may be retarded, but it sounds like you have a very personal vested interest in this.
I mean, she loves merch. It's not necessarily like she has anything out. It's like she loves consuming.
I'm gonna take this slight gap in the relentless assault to say my goodbyes. I gotta go. See ya, girlies.
See you later.
Live your shit, queen.
Yeah,
Also,
yes.
Stuffy, something to keep in mind for this entire stream: a black woman is talking. Listen, learn.
The joke is like that. It's like a black woman is talking. Listen, it's like because they don't. The thing in quotation marks is that you have no choice.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. No, you're the thing that they don't see off the frame is that you are gagged and tied up.
Right, at gunpoint.
The thing in parentheses is that they won't stop.
No, we will not stop.
You are
You
here
understand.
forever.
Correct.
Take it
It's like
easy.
you got-
Bye, girlies.
Bye.
Stuffy,
But yeah, it's like,
Stuffy,
oh, you-
before they have a chance to start up again, do you have anything to say?
About what?
I don't know. Life, anything.
Hey, you want to
Look,
talk
I hear-
about life or?
I hear yapping, I zone out, dude.
Well, that's my shtick too.
You're just like, hey, let them cook. Yeah, no, I want to hear y'all yap. Like, tell me about what y'all feeling about anything you're trying to buy. This any Warhammer like money that needs to be spent. Like, I know y'all spend a lot of money on shit too. Any magic
all-
cards?
It's all down to consume.
I mean, I quit playing Magic
You
in
did. You interject.
2013.
You interjected meaningfully just by being here. It's just we were on a tangent. There was no stopping. Once the topic came to merch, it was a wrap. Like, I don't even know what came over me. I think he threatened to shoot up a Walmart on accident. I didn't mean to say that.
Oh my god. Like, that's kind of why, like, personally, like, I have feelings when it comes to, like, how VTubers spend their fucking money. Like, you know, this was, like, in the girls' chat, but I went on a whole rant about how basic shit for VTubing is so motherfucking expensive, you know? And then you'll have dumbasses, right? Like, I was scrolling through my timeline today,
Thank you.
right?
Suicide Vest to Walmart. Appreciate that. Good looking
But-
out.
Yeah. I was trying to like I was scrolling on my timeline and I saw like an artist that was like bitching about like how, oh my god, how do these people like keep yelling at me because my prices are too high? Like, just budget better and blah blah blah.
But
So I'm
it's like, if your
okay,
price-
let me go look at your prices. I look at her fucking prices, bro. Like, all of your fucking your commission starts at $1,000, and that's
Yeah,
not
that's
even
actually fair for a commercial license.
for commercial
Yeah,
licenses,
no,
sure,
it's like-
but
They're
not
charging like furries. They're charging like furry artists. Like,
Well, if you're
what's
getting
that?
the
What?
right
Oh,
to
that was
produce
there.
merch from it, which you
No, it's
need if
not.
you're going to be a VTuber.
No, it's standard. They're talking about just standard art, not
that's
necessarily
different then.
commercial.
like I'm posting
Yeah.
the prices here. All right, so I'm
Okay.
gonna read it.
That's
I'm gonna
probably
post the
getting
link
too many
in the
commissions,
stream
so
chat.
they actually need to get people to not commission.
Yeah, that's the thing. Actually,
Yeah, it's like that's true, but it's just like don't bitch about when people bitch about it. Like they have, it's like you have the right to charge what you want. Realistically, some people are gonna bitch about it. It's just like you know they can't afford it anyway. Why are you mad?
Yeah, exactly. But let me like get to my point. So the tweet says, "I won't be opening my commissions anymore. I don't understand the necessity of some people to comment about my prices. I know the worth of my time and my years of practice. To my previous clients, if you guys are interested, I have this week free for an illustration. DM if interested." Right?
Yeah,
And then you
yeah.
read the comments, right? Like Yochi, who's like another big art VTuber, she's like, it's 2025 and people still complain about prices instead of using their brain and look for artists that fit their budget. Crazy. I'm so sorry to hear people are doing this to you. I'm sad because I love your art and I always wanted to commission you, but I understand. And then so on and so forth, and people kissing this person's ass, right? So I'm like, all right. Like, they can't be that bad if people are like bitching about her prices. So you know what? Let's look at her prices, right? So this is for character art. We're not even talking about a commercial license, by the way, right? A bust shot is $620. All right. A half body is $1,200, and a full body is $1,400, right? And if you look at her character art sheet, this is what she put for her examples, right? Can you really say it's actually worth that amount? All right. What else she got? She got illustrations, right? The expected starting estimate is $2,000. And any extra character on top of that is $900. All right, I know there's some VTubers, they want like fancy shit, right? Okay, but still really expensive. Let's scroll down. All right, and I gotta post the screenshot of the character art because I know no one opened the damn link. Here you go.
I did.
And then if you scroll down to character design, all right, character design. A front view is $2,000. A front and back is $3,000, and a full package, so front, back, close up, and detail, is $4,000. Right?
Yeah, package.
And and her emotes are $100 each. No wonder people are bitching about your prices. You're too goddamn expensive. The only people who would be able to actually commission you are large VTubers. Right? But that's why you put the prices, right? Because you're trying to gatekeep people from commissioning you in the first place. So
Which
why
is
does
fine,
it
but
fucking
why are you
matter?
complaining?
Like,
It's like, why are you complaining that people are complaining?
Like,
Yeah.
was that not the point of you raising them so goddamn high? Because you know that only Ligs would commission you? Like, I don't understand why people like defending artists saying, like, I know what I'm worth. And I'm just like, you're making closer to a 6-figure salary doing your artwork than I make in a year working at my current job. Do you think anyone that has like a normal, basic, non-streaming job can actually afford you and justify it? Like, no, it just doesn't work like that. And the fact that you have people like Yoshi saying, like, oh my God, like, just find an artist that fits their budget, right? Like, yeah,
like,
there
this
is
doesn't fit-
budget-friendly artists.
Yeah, it's
They're
like
going
this
to
doesn't
them.
fit anybody's budget, though.
Like,
Like-
at that point, you're bitching about people saying that you're exclusive. Like, if you know you're exclusive and you made yourself exclusive for a reason, you just kind of lose the right to, like, complain about it. And it's one of the things that I fucking hate about the VTubing community and the art community, like, genuinely. Because I always see some dabass trying to justify why models start at $10,000. $10,000 is like 5 or 6 months worth of rent. Like, you're only talking to people who make, like, I don't know, $1,000+ like every 5 minutes. Okay, maybe not every 5 minutes, but probably like every like hour. Like, no one is gonna be able to make that amount of money. I mean, look at fucking people like Bao. I'm pretty sure they're living in like a decent sized fucking house. They're probably making triple figs.
Right. And that was probably before.
Okay.
Like, she was probably
I'll
doing
go ahead and
okay.
correct this because she's making high 6 figures. She made $35,000 in 1 month on Fansly.
That's why I'm saying she was making a lot of money. I'm pretty sure, because she had like
She's making a lot of money
and all
on
that.
Twitch. She
was making a lot of money
her VOD
before she
channel and all of
opened
that.
Fansly, and now that she opened Fansly, like, she's basically like, that's the funny
Like,
thing about when
I
Proctor
can't
was
even
like,
blame her because
oh,
you sit there and go, okay, you're kind of stagnating in growth. It's going to start declining in a year or two. Cash in now and just retire.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Like,
You
the
know-
whole thing when Proctor was talking about, oh, this, like, first of all, when somebody posted that one opening that she had for one of her, like, I guess Patreons or whatever, and he was like, oh, critiquing, like, oh yeah, if I was doing this, I would be like, sir, we're gooning here. Not me, but that's what they're like. Somebody that's just someone who purchased that and is just wanting her to write, or somebody on her behalf, which is probably more than likely the case. Just for not even if she like, I don't think she would have time to do stuff like that, even if she wanted to. She probably has somebody on retainer. God, if you're listening to this and you want me to hire somebody to write smut on your behalf and pretend to be you, I can do that.
Go get that bag, ma'am.
Yes.
It's
Actually,
something
she probably just goes to the subreddit
it's something
where people write prompts for that shit.
it's
I mean,
kind of
hey,
like
that's
funny
fair too.
when like we were just talking about merch, but then I'm bitching about art. But like the thing is that like it's not because I don't like spending money or I'm being like a penny pinching asshole. It's mostly because I commissioned people before VTubing blew up the way it did. And uh while it is true there was always people who will bitch about how much money is being spent for like buying artwork, and it is true to a certain extent that art is a luxury. At the same time, I know damn well the people who bitch about it so much that people are saying like, hey, your shit is too expensive, these are people who are trying to make quadruple the profit on top of that. And these are people who then go on Twitter and they're like, fuck capitalism, I like communism, and they're making like 6 figs in a year. So
Yeah, because they're too dumb to draw furry art.
I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Like a
Like,
furry,
no furry has
furry
ever
charges-
complained about the cost of furry art.
yeah, they don't care. It's like they
Like, if I
really
could
like
draw, that's all I would draw.
yeah.
like you
'Cause
ever
then
want
I've
to
been
cash
started
you ever
like
want to
5
cash
years.
out? Go like I saw this one furry artist, like their comms started at 10K.
Yeah.
And what's
Let me
hilarious
see if
is
I can
there used to
let
be
me
a
see if I
game
can
where you
find
would
it.
grab someone's portfolio for obviously a furry artist and have someone guess the price. And like
Yeah.
you
Oh
would
my
get
God.
some fucking Chris Chan level drawing, and it's like $600.
Yep, I remember that
Oh my
shit.
god, I think I found it actually. Hold on, let me the thing I was discussing.
I mean, I have like Nanoliss's like commission page, right? And like if you look at her like live to the like price list, right? Oh my god, like she even charges $1,000 for a fucking NDA. $1,000 to just be like, hey, don't share this. You know? Like, oh my god. Like 10,000 to start, right?
Okay, please
Wait.
also please forgive me
She
for this.
charges people $1,000 for to keep her mouth shut.
Yes.
I mean about the
She
like
is
there
the only
are
smart rigger there is.
Well, yeah. Well, no, she's not a rigger. She's a model artist.
yeah, she's a model artist.
Period.
And generally
She's
there's
the
an
only one
NDA
smart
fee.
enough to go, if you want me to sign an NDA, you need to tack an extra grand on this.
Yeah. I know there's
I mean
like
that's fair
some
when you think
YouTubers
about it
who
that
do
way.
it,
Yeah.
you know? And you know what's really and this is in USD, mind you. This is in fucking USD, right? And Nanolis is like Brazilian, right? So I asked my Brazilian friend and I was like, hey, how much is like $10,000 in Brazilian real? And he's like, oh, yeah, Nanolis should be living in like a literal fucking like 2-story house. Not a mansion, but like a really nice fucking house if she's making these prices, you know? And I know damn well she gets like a fairly consistent amount of work based on her
Right.
workflow. So I don't think she's making triple figs because I don't think she doesn't open her commissions enough to justify it, but she is making a shit ton of money. And when you look at her art comms, right? Yeah, I'd say like her prices for her illustrations are fair because usually when people commissions her illustrated stuff, it's mostly for like gamer substance stuff. So that actually makes sense. It makes sense in that sense. But her model price list, it's like who's even gonna be able to afford it? And I remember like she made a tweet saying like, hey guys, I'm actually not gonna privatize my commissions. Anyone can join in. And I'm like, okay, but who's anyone?
All
You mean
money
like
spent.
you mean the
Hey.
same people who come back to you anyway? Like, huh?
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna be like if if you're somebody, and there are a lot of people again, they're probably not listening at this point because I don't know how somebody who is considering VTubing and hasn't started it would get here. But you want to go like it's a lot easier because there are more resources But the thing is, people want to go for, okay, I want my Oshi's artist, or I want, this artist that gets already makes like buku art, or like I want, you know, just
This
like
is
if
what you're picking up when you're going to do your re-debut. You're like a low 4 view,
yeah, like what,
and you do
like,
your
what?
re-debut because this is your chance to get to like 2,000 CCV.
Yeah, like what? Oh gosh,
Yeah,
what's her
at that
name?
point
Like
it's a business expense, so who the fuck cares what it costs?
Yeah.
exactly. Like Shy Lily played like her re-debut, like the initial one, perfectly almost.
Shy Lily,
Because
somehow
Lily is
Shy Lily and
actually
Fillion,
smart.
I believe, are the 2 smartest VTubers.
Yeah, no, they're
well,
openly. Yeah.
it's like if Philly would just get her own like fucking like
Even
please just
then,
get your
I
own
think-
design. You're killing
and
me.
I
I think
honestly-
she's working on it, but that shit actually does take forever.
Oh yeah, it does
Yeah.
take a lot of time, especially
Like with the stuff
Under
that she
her-
does,
their
and
But
Yeah.
she
her
wants,
shit's
like,
going to
her
take
own-
even longer because it's got to be rigged for 3D.
Yeah.
right.
And she does like a lot of flexible stuff, and she probably wants to be able to change her outfit. It probably takes like a long time.
Yeah, that's why that's one of those things why you kind of have to initially do, or at least get started on, have like a base design, because like that's why you say like people who do the pre-bots, like after a certain point
I
you ditch
legitimately believe
pre-bot.
Fillion never thought she would get it as big as she did.
No, I would believe that. I would believe
Yeah,
that 100%.
I believe that.
Like, I think she thought she'd still be performing for 20 people, and that's why she never thought of getting the
Yeah.
model.
Reminder, like you can go to VGen and find someone cheaper. It's not like, you have
There
to
are a
get
lot
like
of good artists
Yeah.
that
Well-
just haven't like made the jump to making VTuber artists. Well, if you can be patient with them,
yeah.
like
But one of the things,
like-
the reason why I like criticize the art commission community, it's not because like I hate shit that's expensive. It's two things actually. One, a lot of these people, there's a reason why, in a way, I actually trust people more who overcharge their shit than people who actually charges their stuff fairly. And that's because they probably have really good customer service. Like, as much as I just bitched out like that one VTuber and analyst for basically making triple fig, I actually also believe at the same time they probably have the best customer service, and I'm not going to be left on red. I believe
Right.
that 100%.
Like, you're actually paying for professionalism.
Yes.
yeah.
And I agree with that. I think realistically, you're not just paying for the exclusivity, but you're also paying for basic fucking communication and professionalism, right? Because apparently, some riggers and some artists and even asset artists, they can't.
Virus,
even
please.
do that.
It's riggers.
Come on, Rigga.
Shut up, I'm black.
She's like, I can no. It's like no, I can use the R. It's I don't have to reclaim it.
With
It's just
the A,
fine.
with the UH, with the silent P.
Yes.
It's like whatever.
Since I rigged my own model, can I use the hard R?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah, you have to pass the rigor pass.
My
But-
rigger.
But yeah, I feel like some people, especially nowadays, especially when you're starting out, and this is something I've noticed, whenever I commission something for VTuber stuff, I get worse customer service than if I was commissioning
Yeah.
something for OC stuff, right? For example,
Right.
recently I commissioned Izzy, who she's pretty well known. She's the person that made 2023 winter Snow Miku, right? She's the one that designed and won that, right? And I commissioned her years ago, before that ever even became a thing, and she never opens her commissions, right? So she had her comms open. She gave me a sketch the next day, and then 2 weeks later, I had my fully rendered chibi art, right? It was simple. It was easy. I was okay with that. Now, when it comes to VTubing, right? It feels like I have to yell at people to get them to do anything. And every time they say something like, don't worry, boss, I'm going to have it done by tomorrow. Tomorrow actually means 4 days later, 4 business days later, specifically.
And people called me a madman for doing my own VTuber model. Who's laughing now?
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. Also, right. Also, I'll be right. I guess I'll be right. Back.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Confused. Sorry. So, like, you know, I've complained about, like, my rigor, right? And it's very frustrating because they actually are well known. I actually bought them for, even though it was more expensive than it was really worth it, admittedly, I did it because I was expecting, like, some level of fucking professionalism, right? And what ended up happening was that something that he said was originally going to take a month ended up taking 6 months, right? Next to no communication, right? And then when I got my model, half of the tiles were missing and it wasn't really rigged all that well, right? And you know what they're going to ask because I told them to go fix it in like 2 weeks? Okay, can you pay up like another $500? $500 for what? I asked you to do this for me when I made like the request, right? You didn't put it in the way I asked it. When I tried telling you and letting you know like my thoughts on the matter, you ignored it and then told me it was 90% done when I was still in Japan, you know? And it's just kind of like, what? Like, why didn't you like consent with me earlier? Why didn't you like talk with me? I get like it takes time to like recut the model and rig it and have it like sync to VC face and stuff like that. But it's actually really infuriating. You know, another separate incident was when I asked for someone to do my stream background, right? I put it 6 months ahead of time because I knew it was going to be a problem when people are like, oh, I have like some shit coming up. So I gave them 6 months ahead before the due date. And I said the due date has to be October, right? Because that's what I was originally trying to debut in October, right? They didn't finish it until the beginning of like mid-November. And that's because she sent the file, but the Google Drive was locked. And then she's like,
God.
sorry, I'm just like really sick, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I can't access my comms, right? And VGen is telling me that I have to leave a review, right? So I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna leave like a 2-star review, and like let's see if that works. The second I gave her a 2-star review, that's when she gives me the fucking link. Not when I'm like,
That's
hey,
crazy.
I don't have access to this. Mind you, this person worked with PixelLink. Are you kidding me?
Well, I mean, it was Pixel Link.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Damn.
it's dumb. It's like if you're nobody or you're not attached to a corpo, they just treat you like shit. And I
it's really
hate that.
Hey, you should have listened to Pippa and used an Indonesian.
I mean, yeah, duh. But I was using VGen primarily because one, everything's in one place. I have.
The tracking
By
is
the
so-
way,
that's-
I
I'm
did.
gonna be
best
honest.
thing
I
about
would use an
VGen.
American artist before I used a Japanese artist.
It's easier
And it's not
to
just because of
communicate.
my preferred art style, which is Larry Elmore.
It
It's
stands
also
for
the fact that
communication.
Japanese artists are assholes.
Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah,
are.
like yeah, they are. Like
And, like,
they're like
I've actually
if you
known a
thought the
decent number of
American
illustrators
ones
who
are
were
bad,
fucking cool.
God. You know, like I heard rumors and horror stories about Skeb.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's.
Well, I mean,
I've never had a bad
Bowser's
experience
fucked by
with
Scab.
it. Oh, I saw that. I've
What was
never
the
had
story
a bad
about
experience with Scab, but
I sat down
I've only
and
ordered
when
a
I saw
Scab
that
once.
tweet, I immediately went, the dude missed out on like $500 in a possible pussy pic?
Right.
No,
That's-
what's the story?
it's
Fill
like-
me in. Fill
Oh,
me
Sorry,
in.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just sent
Okay,
it
let me
over.
find
I
let
didn't
me
even
find
draw
let me
it.
find
How do
yeah.
you want it to look?
right. Let me find her, but because she posted about it, I actually happened to be looking at her And
No,
I actually
That
happened to
was
be looking at her
one of the
Twitter.
fucking things I saw.
I hate
It's like-
Skeb because you need to be able to contact your artist. Like, I don't give a
Oh,
shit.
Yeah.
Contact the no, because you have to send the money to them first, and they can leave you on read. But the second you try to like be like, hey,
Which,
you know,
by the
where's
way-
my fucking comm? Skeb's the one that bans you.
Yeah, that's what happened to
Like, I
Val.
would've-
She got
I
banned.
would
She got
probably
banned
set it up the
because
same way, except I would sit there and hold the money until they finish your commission, because then I get to put the money in escrow and I collect interest. If it takes them
Yeah.
3 months, I collect a quarter's worth of interest.
let me
part
see
is
if I can
that-
fucking. Let me look at Avahar's like fucking comments. I know he said something about that shit. Fucking Gooner.
Like, it's fucked up too because like Skep does not give a shit about West. They made Skep specifically because VTubing was a thing, and a lot of VTuber artists they want to get Skebs of Japanese artists for thumbnails, right? And then
Yeah, but
they don't.
you know
give
the
a
funny
shit.
thing, those Japanese artists can fuck you over if you do that.
Like, God, it's so
Yeah,
Like you don't
that's
have a
part of
commercial
why
license, and you're using it on a thumbnail. Technically, you're using that
Yeah.
picture for commercial purposes. They can they can claim your entire stream.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like they generally
And
don't, but they can
Then
because
Crit-
because you don't
Critical
have the
did a
rights.
video on how much money he makes off of live streams on YouTube. You make a fuck ton just off of the VODs.
yeah, you know, and like, ugh, God, it's like
Oh my
insane.
Oh
God.
God, I was thinking about something really important. That's why, yeah, there was a part of like I'm fine with like commissioning from Skeb for even though I've only done it once. I wouldn't do it often because I'm generally like, hey, I want, I'm either really
Honestly,
laissez-faire.
I would only commission an art student who wanted to draw anime shit sometimes.
Yeah, it's like
the
I'm
only
either
time
really
you can get me to
laissez-faire.
use Skeb.
But then again, I live within driving distance of an art school, so
Okay,
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, you kind of have it like that. But yeah, it's like
I got art
Maybe-
hose on supply.
exactly.
It's
VTube
great.
is so good for like the organization of because if you're somebody who commissions a lot, then organizing all that shit is so it's a lot, especially when you're doing it for because I haven't even like started like getting stuff for the rebrand. Realistically, my rebrand is probably even though my model and my rigging will probably be done like sometime in spring. I'm looking at summer fall for all like the add-on stuff, and that's if I don't like try to splash out.
I mean,
Just because all
for-
that stuff just kind of
for your
takes.
size, your model's great.
Oh,
My
thank
God.
you, man. I have like I'm really excited about it's mostly why I got a new model is not because I don't like my model. I love my model. It's that I kind of wanted another mama. Because not that my mama is bad, but they're a college student and they're not like necessarily around. And there were a couple of communication issues as far as like getting
Yeah.
because they were also my rigger. My mama is also my papa.
Uh-huh.
Transition, but
Dude,
it was
that's
just
actually pretty
great.
smart of them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's
I like the
Yeah,
fact
no,
that
if I could
there
do
is
that
this
again,
new
I
industry
would.
in the arts. Because I'm
Yeah,
one of those
I love
people,
these
I
things
want
for
a
that.
return to Art Deco.
Same.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Okay.
brother.
Because-
Same.
Art Deco is this very interesting thing when you actually think about it. It parallels brutalism perfectly.
But
the fact
does,
that
does it
Let's
good.
make something for the working man. But Art Deco is a celebration of the skill of the working man. Whereas
Right.
brutalism is a celebration of the efficiency of the worker. Because brutalism is just anyone can pour concrete.
Well,
But
here's no,
But
like
with
I
Art
can,
Deco,
no,
you've got this combination of technology has improved enough through the Industrial Revolution into the modern era that we can make even the door hinges beautiful.
no, Stuffy. I can dumb it even better. Brutalism is the exemplary point of communism. Art Deco is the exemplary point of capitalism. That's the best explanation. It's capitalism versus
That
communism.
actually makes a lot of sense, and I hate
Not-
it.
Not really, because Art Deco comes out of the Gilded Age. Like, the best
Ooh,
movie
I want
for
that
Art Deco
confused.
is Metropolis. The best example in comics is Metropolis. It's the hope of America. Because it only exists in America. There are other capitalist countries. England is the founder of capitalism.
What the fuck is
Art
a
Deco.
kilometer?
I don't know. I've never heard of one on the moon.
Paste.
Oh my god. Like, one of the things that, like, I feel like that's really, like, annoying about Scab, like, wrapping back to, like, the previous topic, is just more like, honestly, I don't think Scab is really worth it, to be honest. Like, not being able to contact your artist is, like, a big red flag, even if it is a Japanese artist. Like, really, the only way you're gonna get me to use Scab is if I'm already friends with a Japanese artist, you know?
Or if you want the hentai art.
Yeah,
which
like,
they just banned.
yeah. Like, for example, I actually had, like, I'm friends with a Japanese artist, right? And I paid them, like, so much money that they had to reject it because they're like, it's too much. I can't, in my good consciousness, I cannot, you know? And I felt bad, but, you know, that's how we ended up becoming friends in the first place.
So you did that before y'all. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, because it was a artist I really liked, so I was like, you know what? I have a shit ton of money, so I gave him $500 in USD. So convert that into yen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not that's not a small amount.
Yeah, he was just like he asked, right, on Twitter, but I couldn't reply on Twitter because of Scab rules. So I sent an email and he actually apologized, you know? Because I got worried, like, oh, maybe I did something like really offensive. But I think it's more like $500 in USD is a lot of fucking pressure when you're probably not the type of person that has like a lot of money come that way in a regular basis. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Scab's getting a cut, right?
Scab does get a cut, but even then, like, when you put that down in yen, like, this was before, like, the yen crashed even more. I think it was, like,
Yeah, but you're sitting there
68 to, like, a dollar.
While it's still 68 to a dollar, 100 yen is being spent at like a dollar.
No, it's not 1-to-1. Like, now, if you ask me, it's more like
I know it's not
100.
1-to-1, but what I'm
Yeah.
saying is it's kind of being spent in the same way. So $500 US is being spent like $650 at the time. Then, if it's 68 to a dollar,
It's kind of interesting, with artists because that's why you get like they have the mindset of that artist probably had the mindset of like a lot of artists that are reluctant to raise their prices because they'll say some of them just don't have the perceived value of the work that they do, and then some of them have the overly
thinking about it as if he's going to spend a week on it, that's actually cheap.
I think it's more about the fact that I didn't ask for anything complicated to begin with, you know? So then
it's like paying $500 for a circle.
Yeah, I think that's probably like where that difference lies, you know? Like,
I mean, yeah, but I still sit there and go, he's going to spend so much time on it because that's really the price point of art. Is it's a very time-intensive process, and well, not so much with digital art, but with physical art, there's only one in existence. Like, I look at the time, and
sorry,
you kind of do have to pay. You have to look at it as an hourly job.
I think some people like it's probably not their main job. Probably.
Yeah. Well, even if it's a side job,
not everybody.
I guess
really
it is
has
a passion for anyone who does it. So they will take a lower price, but I don't know. I just feel bad not paying someone what their skill is worth.
Same.
I think it's more like it's less about that I was paying them for what they're worth. It's how I personally think they're worth that money. But I guess like in
but
a
they
way,
don't. But I still would. It irks me to have someone not understand their value because I've worked with that type of person. and it makes you want to put a bullet in your head.
I don't know.
Yeah,
like I
I
think it's
understand.
just it's one of those things where it's like it comes down to like a person by person
Yeah.
basis. I can't really like judge them for it, you know?
You
But
can when you've worked with them.
oh yeah, but no, we're friends, so it's okay. And he
Yeah.
also didn't know me at the time, so you know what? Like having that come out of the blue, and that oh wait, I think I have like the comment somewhere. Like, what did I actually say that made him say no? Because I
Scab's
probably
rules are fucking retarded.
no, he
just in
personally
general.
rejected it, and
Oh,
then
I
had
know that, but the fact that you couldn't like talk to him on Twitter because Scab is retarded.
yeah, so I had
when
to send him an email.
Everything
Yeah.
runs through Twitter now
Mm-hmm.
because it's so easy.
Or Miskey. It's either that or Miskey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't do anything on a Miski, but I do have one because
I think
I like to
Miskey's
be-
actually
I got-
banned to everyone outside of Japan now. That's if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I had to. I had to see. Like, 'cause I remember making one at some point because it's like I want to be where the DJs are. I don't want to be where the normies are.
I used to use Line because one of my Neverwinter guilds had a line. But other than that, it's just Twitter because Facebook makes me dislike my family.
Understandable. Totally understand. 100%.
It's like, wow, you're all retarded.
Oh, well, like, yeah, it's like, wow. Shame we share the same blood.
And
Damn.
the bad thing is, like, they're not like left wing or anything. I've only got one left wing family member.
Oh, like I was
did
saying
they
before.
like reset it? Did they reset it? Damn, that sucks. I missed out. I can't find it. But I think probably what I said was, I really like your art and I want to spend a lot of money on it. Here's the character. So
Yeah.
that'll do it. That'll do it.
Because I saw that and I was just like, man, okay, let me not get into. I hunger to spend the money. Now we're talking about merch. It's like I want to spend the money.
I want to spend money right now.
I want to
Yeah, it's
derail.
like
I want to derail the merch talk.
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious before I forget. When was the girl channel the girl chat established? I'm kind of curious because
I don't
remember
know. I wasn't there.
Well,
I wasn't the one who established it, so I don't know when it got established. I think it was a couple of months
okay.
before I joined it.
Okay, I'm just kind of curious because I was yelling at all you girls to make your own group chat.
I mean, yeah,
Because,
you were. Yes,
I was
you
going
were.
to ask if it was pre-animation or post-animation.
Thankfully, what's the prerequisite is actually leaving TVA because they like I'm like
it was like I was in there for a while. I wasn't actually planning on leaving. If Proctor hadn't been such like a hypocritical dick, I probably wouldn't have left because I never I wasn't there for I enjoyed having some like the side discussions or whatnot. So I wasn't really planning on leaving. But it's just I didn't enjoy being there anymore because he was just so thoroughly unpleasant.
that's fair. I'm also kind of curious. Okay, is it super secret who's in there, or like how many of you are in there? I'm kind of curious.
I think it's everybody that
I
you
think it's basically everyone.
Everyone that's in here is in there, I think.
Okay, and I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's not a secret or anything.
If you said a girl thing, I can guarantee I'm not in it.
Yeah, the girly pops, but yeah,
Girly pops.
but yeah, it's it's not a secret thing. It's just everybody would expect to be in there, and we talk about basically the exact same, like the reason you wanted us contained in here.
The only reason why I'm making my inquiries is because I was just curious if my yelling and bitching bore fruit, and I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I think I think the yelling and bitching did because I would have been too nervous to reach out otherwise because I am again.
Look how long it actually took to invite me, Lamau XD.
Right.
And I'm not even mad about it. It's just a matter of female dynamics is different than how guys think it is. It's easy to speculate on it, but how it works in practice is different.
I've lived with girls in my university apartment for a long time. Believe me, I'm well aware of your fucking dynamics.
Yeah, but it's like you've never met a girl. So it's like you see it from observation, but you're not like, under those same sort of constraints.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, well, why don't you just do it this way? That would make more sense. And then sometimes it would make more sense, but it's like, I can't, because that's not how we do it in girl world.
I'm well aware of the obtuseness. I'm well aware.
Yeah.
But getting back to the main point I want to make is I'm glad you girls are hanging out and having fun. I'm glad to hear it.
It is fun. I'm glad. I gotta say I am glad. I am also glad that this was facilitated. This is totally valid. What do you mean? Okay. I'm trying to get back into Ame. We'll see if it works.
But yeah,
Never
like
reset my password.
I don't know. I think it really just came down to like, especially like, I guess by the time I joined, like it became a little bit more obvious. Like you got to be a little more cautious with who comes in because you got to like vibe check them to see like, yeah, you could say like, oh yeah, you guys should collab, but then it's actually doing it and making sure like it doesn't reflect badly on you. Because then you got to like make sure like they're not going to say some whack shit like, what Proctor said, that type of thing.
like please don't. It's like please don't say that women shouldn't have rights and they don't want rights and that rights were fake. Like just please don't do that.
Yeah.
But just as an
It's
example,
okay to
of things
think it,
that-
just don't say it.
I mean, hell, I'll take that. Like, if you're thinking and you're not dumb enough to say it, then at least I could say you're smart enough to know what's like a socially acceptable thing to do in a primarily like female like dominated hobby, as far as like the VTubers themselves, not necessarily the fans.
Mhm.
But it's like, yeah, it's like maybe
I think
you
we
think
need to bring back reading tests,
Oh yeah,
but
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a controversial statement. If you
Yeah,
can't
that's
fucking
not
read,
really-
you should, like it should just be like the SAT, reading comprehension.
I like
Yeah.
reading. I kind of
Most
reading is
men would
fun.
fail.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
lots of reading failure going on. Oh my god! Oh no! I started back my shonen, I'm back on my shonen shit because I've been watching Bleach, and I'm like, oh no, they do have merchandise.
I only read like one shonen now.
Usually like I don't think I'm current on much as far as like anime and stuff goes, but because typically I read manga and typically I read horror manga when I'm
Wait,
like
I think
diving in that kind of thing.
Freyren is considered a no. It just went on hiatus. Fuck.
Freerun I would consider kind of seinen more than shonen.
I think it's technically shonen, but like it just went on hiatus again.
Right. Ah, damn.
And One Piece just went on hiatus, so I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm reading Zero Shonen right now.
Right. I'm kind of tempted to get into Blue Lock just because everything everyone says about Blue
Well,
Lock is like, are you fucking
there was
insane?
one I was reading until it got canceled, the fucking MMA one. But that's because MMA is my one sport. And like, it was actually pretty accurate.
What was it called? I'm diving in. I can get to
I don't
sport anime
fucking
every once in a
remember.
while. Oh, but you remember, babe shit.
It got canceled like half a year ago.
Ah, nuts.
Oh,
It's
nice.
like,
But yeah, I'm
yay.
like, oh, look at this cute. Look at
I guess
this
I'm trying to
adorable
read back
kitten.
through Super. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
Fake
I
fan
stopped
found.
reading Chainsaw Man because I quit caring.
I don't know. I gave up on shonen decades ago.
I haven't, like I said, I hadn't been current. This is like technically like me watch. Like I don't consider really me watching as one of the big three counts as me being current because
It's literally
like,
just One Piece at this point because
Yeah,
I've
it's
been
like I'm
reading it
going
for
back-
almost 20 years.
yeah, it's like it's like me going back to my childhood. So it's way.
It's like Bleach is the one. Bleach is the one where I had 10 years in it and dropped it.
Pick it
Because
back up.
I finished
Like,
Naruto.
You finished Naruto. Meanwhile, I have never Actually, some of these, oh my god, I'm so upset. Actually, it's like it's a good thing that I was not aware of these things like ever being out. But on the other hand, it's like, but I could have consumed it. What do I do now? What do I do now that I cannot purchase?
Like Bleach sat there, and when you walk came up, explained his power, and it's just I win. I was like, I'm done.
I'm like, no, it made me so. Oh god, I understand because I did not like him as a villain for as strong. Because I'm
No,
like, wow,
it was
I'm like,
boring.
wow, Aizen was already there and better. Why are you repeating
Well,
this?
like-
The anime kind of fixes that. Somewhat.
And really, the manga ended perfectly once they beat Aizen. Like everything after it sucked.
Yeah, it's like
Because
I
Ichigo loses his power
agree.
and goes on to live a normal life. That's actually a really good ending.
Yeah, I know, I agree, and it's just like, but I'm just like, oh, I can't resist those. It's like I can't resist those, those big titty Shinigami. It's like,
Yeah, that's
damn, we're
what
going back at it again.
The reason I read almost all of Fairy Tale. It's like,
Oh god,
Understandable.
fairy tale. Oh,
Definitely
no, no,
understandable.
no.
I mean, it's bad enough. The writing is bad enough that it's funny, and tits. Done.
Like that's like, what else do we need here? I
Like,
actually
this
live
is
like
so
down
bad. It's legitimately so bad it's good, and there's boobs.
Yeah, that's really all you need in life. Oh god, what was I thinking about? I actually lived down the street from a comic book store. I could see some of those figures there. I could save on shipping. Self docs, I guess, whatever.
Can I really do that? I can't believe I'm gonna lose. This sucks. I'm down by 1. Damn it.
Sucks to suck.
I've only got like 7 months until my Lumi shit comes in.
Oh
God.
damn. Oh god, we were again. I won't. I'm trying not to bring up the merch conversation, but
Well-
we can nod our heads. Yes.
Like, I've sat there and done merch for bands and people that do the con run.
Con runs.
So it's medium to large orders,
yeah.
and you work local because everyone's using the same shirts anyway, except Redbubble and those companies actually use worse merchandise. Like you're using a Fruit of the Loom, you're using Gildan or Hanes. Those are usually the 3 you use because they're cheap but decent enough quality. And you use a local silk screener because then if they fuck it up, you can take them to court.
Right.
It's like, hey, I had this, you owe me $20,000 because you fucked up my shit. And you're doing runs, a small run at that point is 1,000, medium run is 10,000, but you're going to get rid of it over the course of 3 to 6 months. And it's such a huge profit margin. Because if anyone has been to a concert and seen what they charge for a t-shirt,
Right. Yeah. That's no jokes.
yeah,
It's
and
kinda
it's got to
stuff
be
that
of good
they
enough
VTuber
quality
merch-
because that dude's going to wear that shirt for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But he's only going
Yeah.
to wear it to concerts and shit. And the con runs do the same thing, except often they use embroidery instead of silk screening.
I think like one of the thing that kind of comes down to like indie merch, I guess, is that I guess like it's not that it doesn't work. It's 2 things, right? Indies aim too high because Hololive is doing it, and the other thing is you
Indies
actually need a market for it.
You definitely. That's the big thing is most indies start a merch run way too early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see
At
it.
what point
1
would
to
you
4,000
recommend?
viewers.
Okay.
10 to 12,000 followers would be like do a small run because you can guarantee 10% of your audience will buy just about anything.
Right.
But you need to know the company you're working with. You need to work personally with them because so much of this relies on trust.
Like it really is down to like trust.
Yeah, business relationships
Like
and
that's
whatnot.
the biggest thing in any business. And unfortunately, what you see is a lot of people go into VTubing as a hobby, and then it becomes a business, and they never learn the business aspect. Like Bao got fucked over because she never learned the business aspect.
And that's one thing that the whole joining, that's like people ask, especially people outside that aren't like in VTubing or like as an audience, they're like, why do indie corpos? It's like so they don't have to necessarily learn that side of the business.
Like 300 viewers, you're probably starting to make an actual living. And you will start to have to learn the business aspect. You're going to need to learn, hey, this person has 4,000 viewers, but no one collabs with them. Why is that? Well, they're probably a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was something that I wanted to do starting this year. So I had an idea called a video series called So You Want to Be a VTuber, right? And it's not really supposed to be like a whole here's how to become a VTuber tutorial, but more like the aspects of VTubing that people know but they don't necessarily talk about, because it makes the community and everything around it look a lot worse than it actually is. But the reality is that sometimes you kind of have to say what's going on in order to like actually take the steps for things to change.
If you need a sociopath soundboard, I'm all aboard this.
Like that's kind of why like I wanted to try doing this, and I feel like if people had like someone in like a 3 to 5 minute video format basically said, here's why it works, here's why it doesn't work, right? You'd probably have more people who enter VTubing in like a smarter way, you know?
Yeah, because you see a lot of people like fail, and it's really unfortunate because it's like people who like they have like the it factor, but they don't necessarily have like some of the knowledge, or like are overzealous when they're like initially getting into it, and then they just drop out of it. Like I hate to see, as much as we talk about like these expensive ass models, like oh god, what's her name, starts like I think she's starting at 10K now, but Juna's initial mama. Because I wanted art for her before like VTubing was even a thing. It's just always like she's always been like way out of my price range. But like to get like the model from the most expensive mama and like this and that and the other, and then like a couple of months later, I look at your Twitter and it's dead. Like
I think Rosie Chu, I think her name was, like she basically explained why she doesn't do VTuber models anymore, even though I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who want her model. And it really comes down to, I don't like having to do all this work for my children and then they die, you know? Oh, but you have Iron Mouse. And she straight up says, Iron Mouse only uses my models for like 3 months and then they go back into the closet, and then they go back in the closet, and then I get to never see them again, you know?
I can see it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where if you don't have like that sort of connection to anything, kind of like when we were talking about, I guess bringing up Proctor again, he was like, well, we were talking about Philon's mama, like, because she has a pre bought model or whatever, and they were like, well, why didn't she take the money? I'm like, and it's funny because he wants to be a writer, but it's like a lot of artists, not all of them, some of them are, it's just I'm doing this for the money, or that's a big aspect, but some people, it's like some artists, it's like money is not really even an aspect to them. They just do it for like the love of the game, like literally.
Yeah, like I like drawing, right? But I would never like put my love of drawing into VTubing to further my career, because like I do it because I love it, not because I want like it to be another key point that I do as a VTuber, you know? Like that's not the name of the game that I'm trying to be here right now, you know? And like that distinction is why sometimes like people will say no to models and people will say yes to models. I do think a majority of artists do VTuber models for the money. Like, I'm being real with you, it is for the money. But the ones who aren't, it's a little bit beyond that. And it's not as simple as, oh, she just doesn't want to make a profit. No, it's a little bit more like introspective in that
Right.
aspect.
Like, it's like that shit means something to them, like for real. Like,
If-
you know.
The easiest way to do it is if you look how many models do they have out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because like
Yeah.
Pochi, she's got what? The one she made for her friends, and then Rene.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Rene's her only child. And it's like, and I understand, even though, like, God, I feel like if I had a Pochi model, I feel like I feel like I could have that soul connection with her. But it's like, you definitely understand why, like, you like kind of like with actual. It's a little bit of an overgeneralization, but kind of like with actual kids. Like, you can got like, some people want like a whole, you know, garden of kids to work their farm, and some people just want one child to dote on. And like I said, it's a generalization, but there's some truth to it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The longer this goes on, the more the parent child dynamic I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Which is funny though. It does call it like, you know, does the, oh God, my little sister called me. I gotta call her back after this. But yeah, I say the point is, you know, different strokes for different folks, and it's like
I think
people.
the funniest thing is one of the most popular model mamas at this point is Pippa.
Yeah, and then he only has like
breed.
he
Fucking
only has like
rabbits.
3 kids, and it's like, you know, like another thing. This is something I realize about model mamas, right? And about artists is that sometimes some people take big artists because it's one of the big like stones in the pond that like makes waves on Twitter. For example, like if you get a mama of someone who's like, let's say for example you wanted like Pakora's like papa, because I think the guy is male, right? You wanted her papa, right? And you know, if you get her papa, you become popular because he then makes art for like Comic Ket and other conventions. You could potentially get merch. That's what happened to one of Pakora's siblings, believe it or not. She got like a scale figure recently, you know? And I don't know how big she is in Japan, but she's not like, you know, Hololive big. But that's how you
Just
get
whatever
people
you
to
do,
watch
don't get Paco.
like
I actually like, God, poor Paco says, like, Jesus Christ. But the thing is, what's really interesting, and this is going to be a bit of a cynical, it's honestly going to be more cynical than I intend, but like, Gao, from SBU of BSB, you know, the one that just
No.
recently came out. Shit.
Koino.
Yeah.
Because I can never
Yeah.
remember her name.
Yeah, Goro or whatever. But yes, that got Doki's mama. It's like, it's very obvious. Like, besides her, it's like, it's not necessarily that's why, but she's playing into that association very well. And it's a little cynical, but I do respect it. Because that's another way you can kind of like ranch by association with other, you know, big VTubers.
Like, people don't understand like the nature between mamas, like papas to a lesser extent, but mostly like having a really good mama is an investment, and that's why sometimes people overpay for their model art. You know, I really mean it when I say like people do overpay for their model art because they want to have a mama who is associated with a really popular VTuber, so that when they make their debut announcement, people are gonna come and watch them, because whenever they look
because
at
that big
them,
mama, they get that like post from the mama.
yeah,
You're talking triple your viewership whenever you do a new model debut.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, even Hololive triple to quadruple their viewership for a new outfit.
Yeah,
Of course, you're going to do it as often as possible. Because
Yeah.
it's going to make its money back immediately. once
Yeah.
you've
Right,
got
like-
a certain size. And people
Now,
donate more
Okay.
freely on a model debut also.
Yeah.
No, I think like I was talking about before, I've mentioned a couple of times, like with Kame, Go Go Mama. Like I think it might be to the point where she just like I don't even think doubled. I think she tripled her amount of children over this past year.
Because of what
And-
happened with Doki Bird.
But but
Yeah.
also all those people are going to be, in line for like when they're wanting model updates or outfit updates, they're going to be online for that. And you're not getting in
And
front
she's
of
got
Doki.
3 people who are going to have top priority.
Right.
Well,
I
granted, one of them's in Niji, so they're never getting a new costume.
I doubt it. Like I doubt she doesn't get a new costume.
No, I
Like,
think she still works with Niji, Sanji, and Elvira because I think
Well,
Elvira.
I meant more of like.
She's not gonna have another
spending
kid,
money if
most
most
possible.
likely.
Yeah, no, I don't, it's kind of like, but I don't think I don't think Alara's never gonna do outfit.
Well,
I think
I
that's
mean,
just
it's more of
ridiculous.
Niji is going to be spending a lot less money on the EN branch because it's not bringing in money.
You're
Yeah.
crazy.
Kind of agree
Okay,
on
the
that.
men are bringing in money,
No, the thing
but they're
is,
spinning out and like they're going to spin out another gen. It's going to lose money. It might make money in 3 years if they're
Hi,
lucky.
waifu.
hi. Oh yes, hello, yeah, say hello, waifu. But the thing is, this isn't about like I can have a whole like 15 other discussions about Niji. This isn't necessarily about that. It's about like I wouldn't necessarily get in the pipeline, even if it was my dream mama. If they also had like 5 or 10 or like 10 other people that got there before me and have to compete with that as far as
Yeah.
because at that point you're at the mercy of all those other people's schedules.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, right now, I wouldn't join a corpo. Period.
Yeah, but again, like the whole thing with the whole the whole, wanting to produce your own merch, such and so, this and
Yeah.
that. There are reasons why people do this.
Well, if I
besides
was
the
a
socialization
22-year-old
aspect.
girl who has no experience in anything, I would definitely join a corpo. But I've
Yeah,
got experience in the stuff that is going to be the hardest to deal with. So
right. So you
I'm
don't need
not looking at.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like you wouldn't need it for, and if you're not
And I
wanting to
have
do it
no
for the
interest in
socialization
singing and dancing,
aspect,
so
yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, so you don't need it.
Yeah.
But I understand. It's like
But-
even now I understand why people do,
oh,
and
I do
not even
too.
necessarily for the whole. Like it's
And,
a
like,
lot of things.
There
But
are
also, let me
corpos
let
that
this
would
other
sit
person.
there and go, yeah, this one's probably okay.
Yeah,
Like, if you had told me 2 years ago that I would say FaZe is the best corpo to join, I'd have said you're insane. But right now, I would tell you FaZe is the best corporation to join.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's different strokes for different folks when it comes to corpo, at least in the West, right? If I had to say like how you want to debut, right? Being an indie, I will always say that, and I mean it
Well,
in
you
like
have
a
to debut as
realistic
an indie
set.
first.
I know. Well, not necessarily. Because
unless you're coming from, if you're coming for somebody with, if you're coming with like, say you were a YouTuber with some experience, or like if you have like
Yeah.
a lot of other, but if you're coming fresh in, then yeah, you have
But
to debut.
You're also looking at who are they picking up. Doki was 24. Pippa was 23, I think. So they're picking up people with very little experience outside of like content. Their experience is only in content creation, and they've only got like 2 or 3 years in it at most.
like if you
Like-
want my personal opinion about like the politics of becoming a VTuber, right? I think like particularly what Hololive is looking for, if you have content experience, content creation in general, which is actually extremely vast because it doesn't necessarily mean streaming. It could be somewhere from doing art and actually being like a public artist and working with other people. You could be making YouTube videos, which could be from a variety of like quality, right?
Yeah.
Or you could be a streamer. But a lot of people who join Hololive now, and they're probably aiming for this in the long run, right? They're probably going to cater more for people who have experience for streaming, because what comes from like being a streamer, there's like certain things that you need to do, and then everything else that comes afterward that you don't know until they actually like, trial you and do like the second audition and stuff, right? And in that sense, like that's kind of where you gotta like pick and choose what you want to do. I mean, Gigi and Cece, they were 2 views, right? They're not big by any means, but Hololive,
Shiori was like barely a 3 view.
yeah, still not a lot. Like it's
No,
two-
They weren't. Like,
They're
they weren't
picking up.
legs.
They're aiming for diamonds in the rough, whereas Niji in their past couple of things were grabbing people with 100K sub channels,
like,
and you see which one is working and which one
Yeah,
isn't.
it was like it was a very interesting, like even at the time, which I feel like for the most part in the long run, which is Aluna, is kind of when they those big channels, like some of those like worked out, and some of those they like Scarl, like nobody coming in there thought that Scarl was gonna be like the big money maker of
I
that
did.
gen. As far as if you
I
did, then I didn't know.
Definitely did, because she had big boobs.
Sorry, I
Well,
It's
thought
yeah,
like
yeah.
round big
not-
boobs
It's not the
and a
fact
very
that
short
boobs.
skirt. Guess who's going to win?
Yeah, but it's you know what I mean though. But more socks.
Now, granted, I did not think Doki would be. Well, Celine would be the winner of her gen, even though I was watching her from day 1, from like day 2,
no one knows who's going
because I heard her voice and went, "She's Canadian as fuck."
to I think like
And then
what,
she laughed for an hour straight,
and then she won.
and I still owe she that bitch.
Like I feel like some people, like we talk like VTubing, like how we talk about sports and football, but I think like what people sometimes have to understand is that fundamentally at the end of the day, what matters if you're trying to join a corpo is it's not just streaming, but being able to work together, having a fairly good resume, as well as getting a very, very good vibe check, you know?
Yeah,
So
it's the
like
vibe check. That's all that matters.
yeah.
No, the
Like-
resume does matter. I know I have got like I know my vibes will be. If they would look at me, they would see my vibes are immaculate. But because of my streaming was like every other like fucking month, no one's ever gonna take
Well-
because you also have to have the consistency.
No,
Yeah,
even Doki Bird said like that's not even necessarily true all the time. It just comes down to like you
well,
could
gotta
have the
remember, Sinzawa got picked up, and all she did was stream once every 4 months drunk.
Yeah. Well, I'm not drunk
Granted, she
every
also
time I.
was a million subscriber channel.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
very
so different.
popular.
That's what I'm missing.
But
Alcohol.
honestly,
Thank
if you're gonna sit there and go, okay, this one might be a brand risk, it was Sinzawa.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna roll the
Which
dice,
is-
that's the dice you.
Because you got another person who accidentally showed her tit on stream, and another one who said Jesus, Jesus, Japaneses.
Okay, sorry, that's really funny.
Jesus, Japanese. This is a bar. I'm sorry. like that's my mother.
Like I'm gonna be real. I don't think Hololive really cares if you're problematic, because I'm pretty sure a majority of the like in their own personal lives, I'm pretty sure all of them by Twitter's definition are problematic.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
shit.
saying
I buy
Twitter,
Twitter.
I know they've got a lot of
problematic.
problematic people.
Yeah. Let's see.
Like, but there is the problematic when you're off stream, when you're on your personal account, and problematic when you're on your business account.
Yeah, that's a different thing, you know? Like those are two different things. Like
I'm
the
still laughing at Jesus, Japanese. That's God. That's so.
I love that one.
it's so legendary, man. Like
It
holy
is. Who's doing it like her?
Like, if anyone has like that writer where he's just like writing on fire, like that was Senzawa.
Well, no, Jesus Japanese is when
Japanese is-
fucking Demon died.
Yeah, that was
Oh.
that
I
was
still
wrong.
love the
Oh.
fact when someone tried to cancel her from it in like 2022. She's like, yeah, my bars are fire.
Yeah, I remember that.
What do you mean? You mean it's like his writing is just fire?
Like, same thing with like Clara and her having like a problematic, like, what's the word for it? Clara and her problematic roommate, and I'm like, dude, she's a fucking liberal. Like, I'm pretty sure they
not
knew
even,
already,
like-
and it's not a
She's a
problem.
woman.
I'm gonna be real. Like I've actually sat down and read what the left has lied about, and I can understand where she's coming from. She's fucking terrified because they're using fear.
Yeah.
Fear's a great motivator. It almost always works until you recognize they're lying.
Not that. I'm
almost
sad.
like
I
a
just
Canadian-
saw.
Problem is, the second you recognize they're lying, you get a Joe Rogan moment where they just go, "Oh, I don't believe any of this shit anymore," and now the moon landing didn't happen.
Kept it too real. It's like, hey, wait, slow down.
With someone like Pippa, when they figure out that, oh, I've been lied to for like a decade.
Yeah, I feel that on a like on an actual like subconscious level, for real.
Oh my god, where's my pizza?
Whereas
Like-
I was lucky. I was a fucking Ron Paul Republican at 18. I
I'm
could
sorry.
sit and go, "Ah, all these motherfuckers are lying."
Yeah, I was blessed to like be in a generation that just like when I was growing up, people just didn't trust politicians. Period, and I think that's just
Yeah.
a safe
It's
way
like,
to
fuck
be.
all these motherfuckers. I always joke that my fucking political compass goes from Marvin Heemeyer to Timothy McVeigh. I had to remember who was the guy who did the OKC bombing. It's like I was going to say Ted Kaczynski, but no, he's like the orange spot.
You're like, wait, no, I wouldn't do that.
No, like remember the old terrorist thing where you had green, blue, yellow,
I
orange,
remember-
Oh
red?
yeah, I
god,
remember this, yeah.
yeah.
Red is Timothy McVeigh, orange is Ted Kaczynski, green is Sky King, blue is Marvin Heemeyer.
Oh my god. Like, you know, like I'll tell you like my whole political like journey, give or take. So okay, so you know what I think like originally I wasn't really like super political at the time, but I was definitely more liberal compared to my family. And there's obvious things that I backed up behind, not because I understood politics, but because I was a fucking kid. Right? Like I wanted Hillary Clinton because I was a girl and she was a girl, but I was obviously like 6. So clearly I didn't know shit. And then when Obama came in, it was like, oh well, my mom said it's good because he's black, so I believe my mom, right? But then like as I got older, right? And shit started shifting like really crazy. There were things I was okay with. Like I was originally okay with like gay rights, right? And I used to be like a trans rights person, right? And then I got blackpilled during COVID. Really bad. And since then, like you cannot change my mind about the fucking trans rights people. I cannot, in my good conscience, I cannot support it anymore. Really can't. Nope.
Oh
Not
my
at all.
God. Like,
See,
Okay,
before,
so
that's to say,
I'm about to
before we
blow you out. I'm
I'm-
about to
I'm gonna have
confuse the person under the age of 25. When I learned about cancel culture was when Paula Dean got canceled for saying the N-word 40 years ago.
Paula Dean. Was she the one
Paula Dean,
from
the
the
chef?
tea party?
with the,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the butter lady.
With the butt.
With
I mean,
the-
Paula
the
Dean,
fats
when you
and
think
butter?
about it, I mean, when you think about it, Paula Dean is like the most likely person to say like the N word ever. Like her son had a plantation wedding, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Actually, comment down here.
yeah, no, I
Because
am also from
They're
bro. I'm also
historical
from down
buildings
here.
that you're not
I
allowed to tear
understand.
down.
It's like I get it. It's like, Paul Levine said the N-word. It's not really
First
it's
of
not
all,
really surprising.
there's got to be a statute of limitations on saying the N-word. Because
But
we're
the
talking
thing
30
is-
years ago, and then you go, oh, wait, she was working at a bank that just got robbed and she had a gun pointed in her face? There's got to be, like, complete and total, what's the fucking word that is not coming to my head? Immunity
you
on
talking
it.
about, it's like, but the thing is, though, did she get it's like she got canceled by, she lost some opportunity. But it's like,
No,
her
her
audience,
show
I don't
was
think,
canceled. Her son's show was canceled. All of her brand deals were, like, gone.
I didn't realize they got, see, that's real cancel. Most
that's
most
what I'm
people
saying,
that
like,
say they got canceled, a lot of people that claim they got canceled did not get canceled like that.
Yeah. Like, usually what happens is you go into hiding for like 6 months and then you're good. Because the idea is, hey, they lost work for 6 months. Can we just call it even at this point?
Yeah,
Which I
that's
think
fair.
is kind of fair.
But like, oh god, what was it? It was like this is like a VTuber, like that was, oh god, what was it? It's like kind of looked like Sans or whatever. But it's like he was talking about
Nux.
no, not Nux, but yes, Nux does look like Sans. But it was like another guy. He kind of had the Bone guy, Bone Daddy Man. But
Well,
it's
see,
like,
I'm thinking about it, it's like Nux is the very definition of
yeah, but
original
this guy
character
was
donut
like
steal.
and he sold. But yeah, but it was like he got canceled, and it's the thing is like he got canceled. He was saying things about trans people, whatever, talking cash shit. But it's like, buddy, that was your audience. You can't get canceled by if your own audience stops fucking with you. You're cooked. That's the real thing. Like, you can't get canceled by
I
anybody
remember
else.
thinking it was nuts when fucking not Chris Jenner, that's the fucking harpy.
Oh my god!
I want to say Bruce Jenner, but I know that's not their name anymore.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
He's still Bruce
The
behavior.
Catholic gold medalist decided to come out as a woman. I'm like, okay, this is fucking insane. And no one is saying this is fucking insane. And then, like 2013, we want to allow men into women's bathrooms. It's like, this is going to be abused.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is no one talking about the just fact that it's not that it might be abused, it's that it will be abused.
And it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like even
Fucking
like
10 years later, normal people figure out, oh, this might be abused.
yeah, it's like, oh god, what was that? But yeah, it's cancel culture is very interesting, but it's also like the whole thing with, and this is going to be controversial for me to say, like the whole thing with what's Mari, like Fish Mari, I think made that one.
No.
I think she made a George Floyd joke, and it's just like people are like,
no, that was Fillion that made the George Floyd joke.
but again,
Mari was the one that said the N-word on stream.
but then again, it's just like, well, why can't we cancel her? It's like, you're not her audience. You weren't watching her anyway. You have no financial power. It's like, it's like, I don't.
Hell,
yeah.
Mari got more popular after saying the N-word on.
You actually found even more of an audience. I don't. Oh, here's my pizza. Hold on. Yeah, it's like, I don't personally care because it's just like, oh, if I got mad by every person that said, that, I'd be ready to kill myself. But I'm a peace person here. Let me stop talking about killing myself. Hold on.
Oh my god. I mean, I think like the whole nature of cancel culture is that people always want to invoke cancel culture on people where their audience was already watching them for that in the fucking first place. Like, you can't cancel someone who doesn't give a shit, Like, putting that frankly, like, it's impossible to do that. But some people, I feel like they just get kind of off to, like, having power over someone and then making them do what they don't want to do.
I don't consider it cancel culture until you've shown a financial impact that can't be avoided, like debanking someone. Filing false charges. That to me is cancel culture. Like, just going, fuck this person, I don't care, this person's racist, is like, really? I'll check them out. They might not be racist, they might just be funny.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is true. A lot of people that people like think are like, it's like because I know people who really like real racist, and
Like,
because I
I
see
feel
them
I feel
in
like
real
a lot
life.
of
It's
the
like I'm from the south.
most of
I
the
know
people-
what a real racist looks
Yeah,
like.
and it's like most of the people online that are LARPing racism are mostly just doing it because they're edgy boys and not like because they actually
let's be
care one way or
honest,
the
they're
other.
doing it because they're Mexican.
Oh my god.
There are two types of
But
people.
yeah, it's like-
There's two types of people I hate in this world. Those are intolerant of other people's being, and the Dutch.
Like I got to say, I'm gonna have to ask. Like I'm gonna have to ask you to bury this mod after a bit because it's like one day, like this. Yeah, I know this is gonna be on a cancel post. I know it. It's like, what do you mean?
I mean-
you have opinions?
Let's
I
be
feel-
honest. A cancel post is not going to work.
Yeah, cancel culture doesn't really work in the way that people want it to. And then when they find out about that fact, they get like really angry. Like
Oh,
I
Me
remember
Too killed it.
I have a funny story back when I used to be in the Splatoon community. And to be honest, looking back, like the whole thing was kind of dumb. And I'm kind of mad that I like fell for like that whole bullshit. But I was like kind of baiting on Twitter because I knew they were stalking my account. So I intentionally say problematic stuff. Right.
Right.
And then they were trying to say that I was racist, that I was white, and that I was a pedophile. But
Oh, yes, because you have the black card. This ain't me. You can't do that. I'm higher on the progressive stack than most of you people.
so I was
Can't cancel
talking.
me.
So then a couple of days later, one of those people who was stalking my account, they ended up going to the guy who was like starting beef with them because it was like this whole stupid drama, right? And I said trifling like really weird. I said it like really white, right? And she was just like, man, like, why do you just say black words so white? I'm like, I'm black though.
Right. It's like, what do you mean? It's my
sound
word.
so white. I'm like, I'm literally black though? Question mark.
Well, it's like, but what do you mean by that? Like, are you trying to say I don't? You're trying to say I sound too intelligent? Like, what? Throw it back at him. Wow, you're incredibly racist.
Yeah, they had to like walk it back because I said I was black. And it was because like this was like when I didn't really have like a lot of my racist humor too. So because of that, like even now, like most people would think, oh, like this is just a dumb white chick who's extremely racist. And it's just like, no, I'm black. I've always been black. I've never shied away from the fact that I was black. It's
just
just
kinda
that I
assume.
sound really white.
Right.
And it's not my fault.
Yeah, there's just there are so many of us out there. So many
Yeah.
of us like sounding black.
Me,
So
I just
many
hit
of
it
us
with the
are
I'm
real.
Southern. We invented that word first.
Exactly. It's like you can't say when people who spell y'all and they don't put the apostrophe in the right place, I want to kill them. It makes me so angry.
Oh my god.
Like,
In my,
like,
in my,
please
in
do
my defense, I'm lazy with apostrophes.
well, yeah, you get the pass because you're a rigger. You got the. I never expect a dumb rigger to know what to put it on.
I'm gonna fucking... Oh my god. But yeah, like that was kind of like my whole thing when it comes to like when it comes to like cancel culture shit like that. And one of the things I'm like worried about when I do like debut and I somehow get big, people are gonna be like, actually, Virus is secretly racist because she made a video talking about black VTubers and she's so critical. And then I feel like I would have to like literally face reveal because people didn't believe me because they're
Here's
that
what you do.
fucking entitled.
Here, I got it. I got an easy out for you. You grab a white Xbox controller, put your hand around it, and you take a picture. The ones in the know will laugh harder than anything. You will gain so many followers off of the people who know.
Yeah, I'm with
Does he
Stuffy on this
know?
one. Yeah, that's definitely the way to go.
god!
Y'all are sick.
Oh my god. But yeah, like that's like one of the things that like I really don't like about like how people view like race. Like they think it's like all black people are fucking woke and they agree with me. But then in the same breath they'll be like, I don't speak for every black person, you know?
Never ask. Look, I'm gonna give them these. The way I always put it is never ask a black person their opinions on gays.
Yeah, it's honestly like a good
Oh my god, yes.
Like,
like-
the number of black women who have said I would rather my kid be molested than be gay.
It's
Yeah.
very it's like that. Like especially it's like I come from, Christian Baptist church. It's
I mean, you could have
crazy.
just said you're black.
I could have just said it black. That's true. Just short
Yeah.
just shorthands. But
I feel like
Yeah.
it's because like a lot of black people online are like super woke, but then and there are also people who are like against like Christianity and stuff because it's really easy to hate a fucking Christian and stuff like that. But like realistically, like when you have to put that into like practice, it's like no, most black people are conservatives and they laugh at woke people like you. Like you think they're not because you're in your little hug box with people who agree with you, but most black people laugh at woke people because they know they're out of
unfortunately, they vote the same
reality.
way.
Mm. It's just man. But
If
like-
only we could get black people to vote with their beliefs.
yeah, honestly. But I don't know. Maybe like when I do make the black VTuber video, I kind of want to go in depth and actually be like a hundo about it because it's like every couple of months it'll have like a black VTuber come out and then they're like, we need to talk about black VTubers. Right? And then it's just them calling the entire scene racist because they don't want to watch a black person calling every other person who isn't black like demeaning shit and being racist,
Insert ugly
I
VTuber model guy who I can't remember the name of here.
You've also got the problem of they don't even use the funny slurs.
Yeah,
Like Cream Cricket's hilarious.
Cream Cricket.
Mayo Monkey, Bleach Demon.
Okay, I gotta
Like,
remember
use
Bleach
that
Demon.
shit.
I like that one.
Like,
Oh, are
no
you
one would
talking
care
about
if
Hell
you
of
used
a
the funny
Boss?
slurs.
Justin Cannon, are you talking about like Hell of a Boss? Because you're talking about Hell of a Boss and look at how that got Vivzy Pop in. Like, holy shit. But like, no, it's something that I would like to make eventually because I do think in a way like, and I really mean it, what is taking black VTubers so long to actually have like their big black indie VTuber? Like you have like Heavenly Father, right? Evanito doesn't count. Taolito isn't that big, and you also have what was the Kenji?
Well, I mean,
Right?
you just said they have Heavenly Father.
Yeah, they have Heavenly Father and Kenji, but even then, when you compare them to people like Bao, to Shy Lily, to Camilla, Iron Mouse, everyone in Vishojo, basically, it's kind of like, so you mean to tell me in 5 years we only have 2 black people that are relevant in the VTubing space?
You also have
Oh,
Quinn.
I think. No, I think we kicked him out. Like I took his black card. He's all like, it's like he left.
Took
Niji
his
Sanji,
black
he
card
was-
and his melanin.
Exactly. He left Niji Sanji. He was no longer a nigga of mine. Like he only it was a conditional black card. But no, the thing is, I feel like what it's like, and I think Kenji is probably closer to it because like I feel like it has to be like a bit like a large leg black VTuber would probably have to get in with because it would probably have to get in with the shonen heads, like, because that's usually where a lot of the black weebs are, like
I
the
don't
deep,
think
like
it's
the DBC.
even that. Like, you
I
want
mean, you're also going. The main audience for VTubing is weebs and libertarians. Of course, the Asian chick is going to win.
No, like here's my personal perspective. First of
Never
all,
ask a black man.
First of all, it is true to an extent that weebs are kind of racist when it comes to black people. And I don't mean it in like a modern sense. I mean it in a sense of they're always going to pick like Asian woman and white woman to be their anime characters before they think about someone darker than like I don't want to say tan, but like off-white wallpaper. Yeah, let's go with that. Off-white wallpaper. Like that's how weebs think, and it's been a known thing for like years. If any black weeb knows that, they just already knew that like ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, like that's a given, and it's still the case now because those are the people who buy merch, those are the people who actually watch streams, and those are the people who donate money, right? But I also think the reason why black VTubers don't work is because they're all trying to become Kai Cenat, and black people don't really watch VTubers like that. Putting that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would have to, like, you would basically have to, like, as a VTuber, if you were specifically looking for, like, that, you would probably have to open up a whole nother, like, audience that isn't already watching VTubers.
Yeah, which is what Randon said when he talked about like male VTubers. But the difference between male VTubers and black people is that black people are gonna look at your fucking model and they're gonna be like, why the fuck are you playing as some stupid ass cartoon? Why can't you just use your normal face cam? And even if they are weebs, they're gonna call you fucking weird for wanting to do that in the first place. Which is why it never really works. You know?
Like, yeah, and but also it's like I will never give up my brown to pander. I would rather be a two view forever.
Yeah.
Than get a
I'm sorry, just the way you put that. I'll never give up my brown.
There's also the problem of if you pander to black people, you end up with the worst aspects of the black community, and that's going to drive away everyone else.
Yeah, like I don't mean it in ill will to Heavenly Father specifically, but there's a reason.
Heavenly's actually funny.
I know, but I'm mostly talking about Shizzy. Why they keep Shizzy around in the first place?
I didn't know who you were talking about.
I meant Kenji, but you know.
But
they only keep
Heavenly has been in Russian Badger videos for almost a decade. He's actually funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he has mainstream. That's why he has broad appeal. That's why he collabs with everyone in VShojo.
That's what I was about to say, despite his negrosity.
Yeah.
I don't think that should be a word.
No, it's a word now.
It's a word now.
It's a word now. Congratulations.
I did something with my life today.
Like, you know, I feel like they keep Heavenly Father and Kenji around because it doesn't make the other streamers look bad when they say they have. It's basically the equivalent of, I have a black friend, yes, you know? But they're not going to actually let the general black VTuber community in those higher places because they really are that radioactive, you know? Like,
you mean the BBC?
Yeah.
The big black community.
And the worst part is that, like, you can't even blame them for it. Imagine if a black VTuber got into Hololive and how much peer pressure there would be if people knew you were black, because you're going to have the black VTubing community basically like ruin like your appeal by saying, oh my god, we got our first black queen. I hope she actually like is woke just like me and actually teaches these ignorant niggas and shit. And then
thankfully there's enough Koreans in Hololive to keep them in check.
And then there's also the regular Hololive community who knows that and then avoid them, specifically their private life, for being black. You know, it's
Yeah.
tough. You know, like you would have to stream for like 3 months before people are like, wait, this person is actually kind of cool and based, even though she's black. You know, that's where we are when it comes to like being a black VTuber. You either have to keep quiet about the fact that you're black, or you just get generally associated with the BBC.
Right. I just yeah.
We've done two things this stream: niggerosity and the big black community.
I mean, I sit there and go, yeah, all 18-year-olds are retarded, but Speed's a little more retarded than the rest.
And by the way, you can't just make your entire personality, I'm black. Yeah, we know it's your life, but you don't talk about how big and black you are on a regular basis, do you?
It's like you gotta go out. It's like you have hobbies, right? Yeah, that's another thing. It's like you don't necessarily, or as in my case, I'm just like, I know there are horrible things going on. I know that I've been called, that sometimes people will call you like crispity, crunchity, cracky coon and all that. And yeah, sometimes that hurts your feelings, but it's like, I don't want my whole, it's like, I don't want my whole online career to be about like my hurt feelings. I just want to be an anime girl.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of us, like we already know about the shit that goes on in like black communities. We know about the racism and stuff like that. Like it's not like we're trying to run away and avoid it. It's more like, nigga, this is my fucking downtime. I'm trying to have fun. You know?
Exactly. Like can I play Mario Kart? Like do I
No.
have
You're
to get
also
the
going to run into
reparations
the problem
points?
of, the one that breaks out is going to be light-skinned as hell.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Yeah, we won't even get real brown. Damn.
Honestly, like if I got into Hololive and then they knew I was black and I was able to get in and they gave me a black model, I'd be like, can I have something else, please?
Unironically. Yeah,
I
like,
would
please
literally
do
tell
that.
them, I'd be like, hey, this is a bad idea, you know?
Right.
Like,
You're like the opposite of me. I'm like, I get in. Actually, I need the chart with the the anime dark skin colors. It's like, yeah, I need more of a golden coast. Thank you.
yeah, like I'll come in with the chart. I'm like, if you wanted me to have like a dark skin model, give me the Californian gold, and I'll make something so cute that
Too
I'll
bad, you
get
get
black,
Dutch.
brown.
Keep talking, you'll get dark shine.
It's like, yes, it's like, no, it's like, trust me, just make me like just make it an elf. This will work. Just give me Blair's model coloring, and I can make this work.
If you get a black model, you got to make your first debut. You got to make your debut cover, Mammy. Like, play into it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's what I would do. Is like, I'm just going to play into this shit because it's going to be funny that way.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's like my own take on like black VTubers. I actually do want to see like, I guess not more variety, but I do want to see people succeed. But sometimes to see people succeed, you got to be more immature and tell them straight to their face. No one gives a shit about your woke, and also you're really unlikable when you act that way. Like straight up, you know?
It's like
Personal
nobody
politics
When you say
aside.
immature, that just sounds like speaking like a man.
Okay, Proctor, calm down.
All right.
No, it's like, I'm going to tell you the shit you don't want to hear because you need to hear it.
Exactly.
Virus is our token, man. And
At this rate, like
everybody needs one.
at this rate, like I'm literally the token, and I can't even like deny it. You
At
know?
least you're not the token black.
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
just the
like,
token guy.
I already definitely have people who are like confused on my gender, and I'm like, no, I'm a girl, and I'm low key scared. Like every time I say I'm a girl, they're gonna think, oh, she's probably like trans.
I
Oh
mean,
my
you do
God.
sound like you're speaking through a voice changer.
It's my
Right.
real voice.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, speaking of, oh God.
voice.
I don't know why this made me think of this, but I thought like about like Neuro got like it was like a record or something she just broke.
Yeah, the sub record, like the
Yeah, and I was like, and I saw like all those posts like Duck, and I was like, yeah, your VTuber would never be like real, digital life. I'm like, you gave all that money to a man.
yeah. Like Neural at the end of the day is
You're
a guy.
It's like it's like I don't, because it's like Neuro doesn't, like I think it's a neat gimmick. It doesn't really bother me, and sometimes the stuff that comes out is like the screen caps are funny, but it's like at the end of the day, you're giving your money to a man, so you're a homo.
Yeah, but he makes fucking Neuro better every week, every month.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like, hey, it's definitely something, but it's just like the people. It's like you're talking about my VTuber. It's like, yeah, but at least I could maybe
I
reverse
would expect
groom.
you to
You'll
sub
never,
to a male VTuber.
right? It's like you'll never be able to reverse groom Neuro. It's never happening. I'm sorry.
You know, it's kind of funny, like when you talk about like Neuro, because I think Vito over any other male VTuber actually understands how male VTubers work. Like, there's a reason why he never got a human model for himself and just sticks as
Right.
Turtle. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
because, like, if he got a human male model, people are going to call him a sex pest. And there's a reason why, like, and I remember that was even still the case, like, when he was growing. Like, people were calling him a sex pest for collabing with women, you know? But he's
When
the
all
one
he's
that
doing
has.
is making sure that Neuro doesn't
Yeah, he's like
tell
the
us
tech.
that
It's like he's
6 million's a little high.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, he's like the manager that they don't tell you about.
He quite literally is the manager they don't tell you about.
He's the manager and the Tard Wrangler.
Right. That's all I was saying is like, not to, that they can't be enjoy Neuro. It's just like, don't think that you're better than me for enjoying Neuro, because at the end of the day,
Eyes.
she's a
Look,
man.
I know I'm not better than you, even though I don't watch males.
I mean, I don't know. I just think that some people, like, I really never really understood that whole logic of I don't want my female VTubers to be collabing with men, because it's like men are funny. Like, being real with you, like men are
I
actually
picked the
funnier
two
than
wrong girls
women.
to Oshi for that, because my first Oshi was Coco.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
Oh, I
Great
was waiting
taste,
for the story.
but yeah.
Then Pippa, because, well, that one coincided. Then
Right.
Lumi, because Lumi's better than Pippa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I'd say Lumi and Doki are on the same page, though. Just different.
yeah, I can see that.
Like,
Women,
do you
women.
know how hard it is to be funny as like a girl and not just use slurs the entire time? Like, just saying. Like, the only way you can really see a woman be funny, like in general, is when she's collabing with her own friends, because the dynamic is there. But it's kind of hard to find them like intentionally funny, you know?
Okay,
At least,
we're not
I think
watching
my life
because
is
we're going
enough
to
of
be
a joke.
intentionally funny. It's unintentionally funny, that's why we watch.
yeah, I guess
It's just
so.
like I say, Lumi is the ultimate girlfriend experience because she just talks about a salad she had for 2 hours.
It must be a good salad if she do that.
No, it was a bad salad.
How
She was
bad is
mad
that?
that it was the wrong lettuce.
Oh, the poor
I
thing.
can understand that. I can, like, that's real right there. I'm not gonna talk about a salad for 2 hours right
First
now,
world
but I do
problems.
understand how the wrong lettuce could fuck up your day.
No,
It's like,
but like
eh.
it's true though when I say like like, how do you, like, I generally just vibe a lot better with guys, right? But they're gonna just be like, she's getting she's getting like a whole orgies with all these males.
Yes,
that's
and she's
probably
also
gonna
a pick
suck.
me.
I don't know.
Yeah, pick me, bitch,
I think Wirus's one boyfriend would have issue with a lot of this.
No, he's
I
taking
mean, we don't know. He
right
might
now.
own a chair.
No. Probably not. No.
Not the chair.
I mean, like, knowing him, like, we had like a convo, like,
No, he's
and
gonna
this
be
was
our
like a couple of
femboy.
years. This was like a couple of years ago, right? And then for some reason, like, it was me, his friends, and they were like playing video games, and we are just chatting. And then I was like, "Yo, if I made like an OnlyFans, would you guys like actually like pay for it?" They're like, "Yeah." And then my boyfriend's like, "Yeah, because then you could buy me like a new graphics card, and I'd be okay with it." I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Valid."
Yeah, that's about yeah, it's like, you mean you're going to get money that
Yeah.
you're going to subsequently spend on me? Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Really comes down to that.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. I have a long committed boyfriend who's seen me do even more retarded shit than the shit I do online. So you know what?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, we were watching like Eva for New Year's, right? And then he made a joke about, so we got to the part where like Shinji's strangling Asusa, and then he's just like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Us," and he's like, "Yeah, I'd do that."
Us. Like, this is so real.
Yeah.
So true.
Oh my
At least
god.
he didn't say that at the hospital scene.
Right. It's like, I'm so fucked up. They might have. Like, she got quiet.
Oh my god.
Good times, good times.
Good
That's the
time.
scene where you just go mood.
Okay, with that there nice little note.
Wait, we gotta go. He's like, okay, we gotta go. Get out.
I just want to. I had a good time. This was fun. We got to do it again and more. I want to have my supper, and I'm sure some of us do, or go to sleep or
Yeah,
whatever.
cool. Oh yeah.
Very important. I'm probably most likely, maybe, am gonna debut on January 15th, assuming my model is done on that time. Yeah. It's my birthday. I get to fucking debut my model. Let's go.
As long as you chill. As long as you chill.
Yes. Let's fucking go. We got the flu.
And then
need it.
the fucking content goes on Blue Archive and rolls for fucking Blue Archive units. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go!
Yeah!
Let's fucking go! May the gods be with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell Cubano, and then I'm gonna post my shit in like all the Blue Archive servers.
Tell him he has to leave. Tell him he has to leave Proctor for your birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
It's your
that.
birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's a really good idea, actually.
Thank
I
you.
should
That's
do
why
that.
I'm here, wife. I'm here for you.
Yes, let's go. All right, I'm heading out. Bye.
All right, peace out, guys. I had fun.
I had
See ya.
fun. Bye bye.
All right, gentlemen. Any last words with the girls gone?
Nope.
Oh, it goes gone. No.
All right.
Watch Doki play Marvel Rivals at DGen hours.
Okay. So for everyone else, thanks for coming. Take it easy. Later.